is going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown Your Questions, episode 214. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and I'm joined by Emilio Lopez.
Read it, boy.
Chris Seeley.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Carlos Romero.
Yo, what's good?
Brett Murdoch.
What's up?
And Adam Vale.
Soccer Free Sunday.
All right, man, we're here with the last episode of the year, people, the AMA special. And right off the top, I'm going to have to chastise some of you guys, man. Like, barely any of you came through with questions. I had to dig around, man. I'm like, last show of the year, you can ask us whatever you wanted, and nobody asked us any questions. Like, what the hell's going on here? You know?
Probably thought the year
Thank you,
was
folks.
over.
Good night. That's it.
Yeah.
They're done with
So-
this year. They're ready for the new year.
Yeah, like, so I had to, like, you know, pretty much poke. I'm not going to name them by name, but there were two guys in here where I would go, yo, can you ask us some questions tonight? These motherfuckers didn't ask us nothing. You know?
Really? So it's like it was that dry, like
Yeah.
nothing there.
Yeah, this is the driest I've ever seen it, which is funny because this is literally the fucking last episode of the year.
Yo, man, where you guys at, man?
You know, but yeah, hopefully the guys in the chat will come in and save us. Yeah, ask us whatever you want. We actually, some of the questions we did get are very interesting. So, like, some philosophical shit going on here. So this could get pretty wild, you know. But the first one here is not so philosophical. This is interesting, though, from G Megaforce. Could Avengers Endgame end up being the Last Jedi? The trailer and title released for Avengers Endgame was certainly enough to get Marvel fans around the world excited for the next installment in the Avengers franchise, but not everyone seems to be pleased with what they've seen so far, simply due to the overhyping of the movie and the negative backlash Avengers Endgame has received. It is quite possible that the Infinity War follow-up could end up going down the same route as last year's The Last Jedi. All right, what negative stuff is he talking about?
I don't know what he's talking about, man.
It's been universal praise from that trailer, so I don't really know.
Even if there's no trailer, the ending of the last one was awesome. You want to know what happened. So regardless, you want to be like, shit, I want to see who died, who made it. What? Yeah, really. You know you were happy. I saw those pictures on YouTube. You were so fucking thrilled with the ending of the last one. I think it was pictures of somebody else.
Adam.
No, it was totally you.
Yeah, would you say he was thrilled by it? Adam?
Yeah, with pipes. You know, he loves those movies. He loves all those superhero movies.
So yeah, I don't really see that happening. Like, everybody's hyped for this, and you know, Marvel cinematic movies are generally okay to great, you know. The only way they could go down the Last Jedi route is if they completely abandon the character, growth from the last movie. They completely abandon all the subplots, they abandon all that, and then start injecting some weird political shit in there. Then they'll turn into the Last Jedi. But I don't see that happening. I think they're going to follow through on everything they've promised, you know.
Well, like, you also have to think about this. The Russos now have a huge track record with these movies. They did Captain America: Winter Soldier, which is a fucking great movie. They did Civil War, which is another great movie, and they did the first of this sort of two Last Avengers movies, which is fucking great. And like the other scenario, it's a franchise that was kind of, I don't know, it just wasn't reinvigorated correctly, and then it was carried on by someone else that just completely changed everything about what the franchise was and what the immediate predecessor was in The Force Awakens. So with this one, it's the same team with the same characters, the same directors, same I don't know the same writers, but I'm pretty sure some of them are the same. And yeah, like, it might not be great, it might not live up to our expectations, but at least for me, The Last Jedi is a horrible movie. It's probably one of the worst movies I've seen in the last couple of years.
I agree.
And
Well, hold on. Now, before we get too far into this, I think the elephant in the room is, don't we have to identify exactly what it is that made The Last Jedi terrible before we talk about?
well, that wasn't the question.
I just did answer it. I broke down exactly what made The Last Jedi terrible. It didn't follow any of the things established in the previous movie. It completely abandoned character development, and it injected weird political shit in there. You know, we're not gonna get. We're not. I don't want to turn this into.
Is guilty of those things, though.
All right,
Like,
can
a
I?
lot of them.
Wait,
The,
what?
the Rose and Finn love story was horrendous. The Canto Bite whole thing was horrendous. Think
The
about this.
continuity was all over the place.
Think about this. They busted out something that I like to call a Man of Steel tragedy fucking scene. Finn and Rose are riding to their deaths essentially to sacrifice themselves for the last part of the rebels, or I don't know what they were called at that point, but they're about to sacrifice themselves for everyone. And what happens? Fucking Finn, in his moment of glory, is gonna ride towards the fucking sunsets, and Rose goes to save him and forces a fucking kiss on him while the rest of their buddies are getting fucking shot up. I'm sorry, but that's just fucking horrible.
No, I'm okay, but and I'm not defending Star Wars here, but I am saying like I watched Infinity War for like the fucking 40th time the other day, and I honestly there is a lot of weird power discrepancies and a lot of things that make no goddamn sense in that movie. If you want to split hairs on it, I can split hairs on that movie all day long. Like, why is it that Doctor Strange can pretty much handle Thanos just by himself towards the end of the movie, but then
No, he didn't.
there was a whole fight scene where he was holding his own against them. And
No, he didn't. You're talking about when he duplicated himself into like 1,000 Doctor Stranges, right? And he threw those lasso things. Are you talking about? No, he fucking threw the lassos and he got destroyed within a second. That scene lasted like seconds. It wasn't. Doctor Strange never had the upper hand ever.
I disagree with that.
Oh, no, you don't have to agree. You can watch the movie again.
We're gonna have an entire side discussion about.
Yeah, I was about to say we're getting off on tangents here.
This is totally a tangent.
Like this isn't a referendum on the Last Jedi or the last Avengers movie.
Yeah, but
go ahead,
I
Chris.
think going back to the question, like, there's nothing in this trailer or from what we've seen from the Russos or the stories going forward that Endgame is going to end up like Last Jedi. If you see a scene with Captain America with a long beard and he takes his shield from Black Widow and throws it off a cliff and then goes and drinks from a weird cow, then you know the movie has gone off the rails.
Yeah.
I didn't see any of that in the trailer, so I'm pretty sure we're okay.
I feel like the thing is that, like, I mean, everybody has these weird fears that it's going to be another. They said the thing about the last, about the last big movie to come. Oh, there's going to be we're afraid it's going to be another Last Jedi.
The only thing that's going to be like that is
even the next
whatever episode 9 becomes.
Even the next movie is probably going to negate what happened in that damn movie.
Oh, yeah.
And by the way, the two big baddies of the whole fucking series of the new Star Wars movies and the fucking Infinity War saga, Thanos and Snoke, like what is
Snoke? He's a character that has absolutely no character development, and he just gets killed.
And on the other hand, Thanos got plenty of character development, and if he dies, we got to know everything we need to know about that character.
That whole Last Jedi movie is plagued with a bunch of characters that have absolutely no character development, who get killed because their plot device ability is been used. Everybody. I noticed on Twitter everybody's talking about how much they love Admiral Holdo, right? Number one, what about Admiral Holdo do you love? Because she actually has absolutely no character. Jar Jar Binks has more character development than Admiral Holdo, and that's the sad thing.
Oh man!
I mean, come on. I mean, to be honest, like, when you talk about her, it's like, okay, yeah. What did she do? She was the plot device, and then she got killed instantly after. She doesn't get anything. She doesn't even get any sort of, like, you didn't even get to know her.
But again, you guys are just like, I don't think anybody's saying that Avengers is near what happened to Star Wars.
This is what's going to happen to the Avengers film. At best, it's going to be just as good as the last film. At worst, it's going to be about as good as a Thor film, the original Thor films.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get to Last Jedi levels of horribleness here.
The
The point is, like, this. Dude, your fears are wildly unfounded, man. They really are unfounded. I don't know where this is coming from.
Yeah, I definitely think it's at this point in time.
Right. So you really think the next the follow up to Infinity War has the potential to be as bad as the Last Jedi?
No.
So you do agree then?
I have legitimate fears that the Avengers are going down the same road that eventually led to the Last Jedi, though. I think that it's big enough that there are lots of people wanting to put their mark on it. I think that they are throwing continuity, or they're starting to throw minor continuity out the window in an effort to have big moments and big scenes. Like, I thought Gamora's whole race was extinguished, but clearly that didn't fucking happen. And whatever happened to the halvesies rule that Thanos has when he murdered the rest of the Asgardians? There's things that are being conveniently left behind if you're a comic nerd, because they work better into a cinematic universe to the point where it's contradicting itself. And I'm afraid that as it grows bigger and more bloated and more people have their hands in it, that they are going to not focus on fan service, and they're not going to focus on continuity as much as they're going to focus on these.
And you think this is all going to culminate in the following movie? We're not talking about the future of these movies. We're talking about the next movie. You think all of that stuff that you're talking about is going to culminate in that one?
It's not going to culminate there. No.
Okay, so remember, we're specifically talking about Infinity War 2. We're not talking about all of the Marvel movies afterwards.
Is that how the question read? Because I took it as are they starting down the Star Wars path?
No. He said this question is at the heart of it. Will Endgame be as bad as The Last Jedi? That's the question.
Okay, I'm getting confused because it's called Endgame, and I thought he was asking about the Endgame.
No, the movie's called Endgame. Yes.
No. I know the movie's called Endgame. I thought he was talking about Marvel's Endgame.
Yeah, no. He wasn't talking about that at all.
If anything, I mean, to be honest, if anything happens, it'll probably be after this film. If anything, big changes that are going to happen, it's probably going to be after this. After all of this,
That's my fear, is that they're going to then take a very successful franchise and start to do what Star Wars did, taking it out to different directors.
They said for a lot of the more recent the stuff that's coming, they're going to start doing their own thing as opposed to adapting stories again.
There's a conversation to be had about what the future of Marvel. I do agree you should be worried, but for the next movie, I think you're good.
You're good for the next movie.
The biggest thing I would say, the biggest changes is probably, and it's actually going to start with Captain Marvel. There is a lot of things that have been changed for Captain Marvel, for Miss Marvel / Captain Marvel, to make that film happen.
So, can I add an addendum since we have a little bit of extra time, Tony? Ask my own question, if you will.
Sure.
Okay. Do you guys feel like, not just about the next movie, but let's take it in the other context. How do you feel about the outlook of the end game of Marvel as where it stands? Like, should we be concerned? Because, I mean, they're both owned by Disney, so should we be concerned about the delusion and the what's going on as Marvel, the comic company, bleeding over into the Marvel movies? Or do you think that they're on a good path and we don't have to worry about them?
That's exactly my way. I feel all the I'm not going to get into specifics, but all that dumb stuff that's happening in Marvel Comics now is going to start affecting the movies. I kind of take the next Infinity War movie, I'm calling Infinity War, so I know it's Endgame. That's the final, phase of the Marvel Cinematic Universe as we knew it. After that, things are going to go in another territory that I don't think it's going to be good for these movies and comic book films in general. I might be feeling a little crazy about that, but I'm just judging it. I'm just seeing all the little things that are going on behind the scenes, and I'm like, okay, this is where they're going. This is not going to end well. So we could at least say we had at least a good 10-year streak before they fucked up.
I don't know about that. I feel like they're probably going to continue a similar formula to what it was before. I don't think it's going to be that drastic. I just think that the big thing that's going to happen is a lot of characters are going to get rejiggered around, and they're not going to really they're not going to be adapting any sort of old comic comic stories as much anymore. I think a lot of the stuff that's coming is just going to be like more more original stories as opposed to just taking Well,
what I'm worried most about is these characters that we have, these sets of characters, the Iron Mans, the Captain Americas, the Thors, those eventually we're gonna have to move on from those. And what I'm worried most about is who's taking the mantle after them.
Is the new cast that's coming going to be as compelling as the previous cast? We're probably you're right. We're probably losing Iron Man, or we're probably losing Captain America, And then what we're going to be left with? We're going to be left with Doctor Strange and Captain Marvel, and whoever else is still signed on for a couple of more movies.
Yeah.
Is a Benedict Cumberbatch, former Sherlock Holmes, just like Robert Downey Jr. former Sherlock Holmes? Are they going to just swap because they're kind of almost interchangeable? They're almost the same guy anyway.
It's a weird problem because the thing that makes Marvel characters successful in comic books and that you can come to know them, you get a sense of familiarity, you get to know really rich backstories and heavily serialized stories. That's almost impossible to do with movies because of the nature of contracting, because an actor is going to get paid more each movie exponentially, and so it becomes harder and harder to sign them for a 12 picture deal. So you almost can't have the thing that makes Spider-Man so great, in the sense that like Spider-Man's been there for 30 years. Like, it's weird that we can't have Robert Downey Jr. We can't have Iron Man for more than a decade. That just seems like a weird problem.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the cast swap, just like you have on any sort of a TV series, and we'll just see if the next season of Dallas was as good as the previous season when they swapped out, they got rid of all the characters,
Yeah. All right. I want to move on to the next question. I'll move this up the queue here since it's related. From Mr. Glorious War. So he goes, what did you guys think of the Captain Marvel trailer? I found the actress to be wooden. Going back to we were talking about how I'm worried about the future of Marvel. That's part of the reason. I think, I'm going to just say it right now, I think Captain Marvel is going to be the first MCU flop. Or at least it's not going to make as much money as some of the other ones. There's nothing about that trailers that we've seen, there's been 2 of them, to get excited about. And let's just be honest, Captain Marvel / Miss Marvel has never been a compelling character. She's always been a C-list character. Let me finish. A C-list character, but her only claim to glory was when Rogue stole her powers. That's the only reason people even know about her.
Yeah, she's Miss Marvel / Captain Marvel has always been a hard sell. They were all, even for a long time, Marvel had kind of always been trying to sell her as Marvel's Wonder Woman, but at the same time she never could really capture that because she doesn't really have a compelling personality. She really is kind of just a weak sort of character. Like, there's nothing really that really amazing about this character, which is again sad. I feel like why obviously you have we're installing her as the Marvel Wonder Woman, and she really can't, even on her best day, she can't even hold a candle to what Wonder Woman is and what woman represents.
Yeah, they've restarted her own series like 5 times in the last 5 years because nobody buys those books.
They should just friggin' call a spade a spade. She-Hulk is Marvel's Wonder Woman, not Captain Marvel.
I disagree with that. Marvel's Wonder Woman is Storm, but MCU can't use her yet.
Huh?
But there's so many problems. Like in today's day and age of identity politics, I don't know that you want to hold up the paragon of female strength as also being monstrous. I think you get a huge backlash from that. Which to
be honest, she is the most Marvel out of any of those characters.
I agree.
What you're gonna give? You're gonna Captain Marvel, the Aryan who got her power from outer space. Great, that's the greatest person that you want to have being your Wonder Woman. Yeah. Come on, guys.
Yeah. Well, again, the real person they should use is Storm, but they can't use her because she's not an MCU yet. That's really Marvel's answer to Wonder Woman, if you think about it,
And that's where I think they're going to go. Honestly, I think when the whole Thanos Avengers things dies down, what they're going to do is they're going to lean real heavy into relaunching the X-Men side of the Marvel Universe, because let's be honest, like at least half their good characters are in there. And they will probably frame it as the beginning of a new saga. They will frame it as like, here, for all of you that didn't get onto the Marvel train right away, we're starting the big loop again. You know how this ended in a big 12 movie thing? They'll be very transparent about this is the beginning of the new saga, and they'll prop it up with cameos from the rest of the Marvel universe to legitimize it. And I think that's going to be their cash cow for the next decade. Yeah. That's how they're going to relaunch with all new characters. Iron Man will pop in every once in a while because he's part of the Marvel universe, but for the most part, they're just gonna. I'm imagining
they give Robert Downey Jr. a day check. Like, okay, there you go. Go pop up, say some things. All right, you're good.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah, because one of the things
CGI him in the background all they want.
Yeah, they can. Yeah, because people complain about how like the MCU movies don't have like compelling characters. I'm like, yeah, it's because Marvel hasn't been able to use half of their fucking females because the compelling ones are on the X-Men side. And
not to mention the continuing issue of the the lousy Marvel villains, that shit still continues.
Yeah, and guess where the other half of those great villains are? They're on the X-Men side. You know, I'm telling
all
you,
your
man.
best female characters, all your best villains. You know, here's the one thing I am afraid about. And again, in today's day and age of identity politics, please, 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 Marvel, do not make a Squirrel Girl movie.
Oh,
I do not care
God.
how good I don't care how good the optics are. I don't care about how much it's the misfit that doesn't have the lame powers and is a little bit hipstery but manages to make a feel good movie in the end. Just don't fucking make it. Don't. I know you want to, but don't.
Yeah, but they're making a Captain Marvel movie, so who knows? They're making. Who decided in their infinite wisdom to give Shang-Chi his own movie? Who the fuck cares about Shang-Chi? You know,
Is Shang-Chi getting his own film?
Yes, feature film.
Yep. Yeah, that's true.
Shang-Chi's kind of a Shang-Chi.
So you think I'm not worried? I'm not right to be worried here to make a Shang-Chi
I mean,
fucking
here's the
movie.
thing. I like Shang-Chi, but then again, I'm kind of into martial arts.
But that came from a time when they were exploiting martial arts and Asian characters. Like he's basically Bruce Lee, right?
Yeah,
With
he's
kind of
basically Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they put that on Netflix? I mean, he seems like a perfect guy to throw on the Netflix.
Yeah, no, it's a feature film.
I mean,
MCU.
Shang-Chi didn't even have any powers. What was his power? Martial arts? That's kind of racist if you think about it.
That is a power. Have you not played Street Fighter? Ryu shoots fucking fireballs.
Shang-Chi doesn't throw fucking fireballs.
He doesn't throw anything. Yeah.
It's essentially Bruce Lee, but Marvel's Bruce Lee. He didn't have any power.
Well, he's getting a film now, so if you're going to give Shang-Chi a movie, why not Squirrel Girl? Go nuts, you know? Squirrel Girl's more popular than Shang-Chi. Let's just be honest.
Like, nobody knows who Shang-Chi is, and it's kind of sad that when Marvel goes, "Hey, we're going to make a movie about an Asian superhero," the only one that they got is Shang-Chi. Seriously?
Hey, they did it with Howard the Duck. Remember, Howard the Duck had a movie.
Howard the Duck had a movie because George Lucas got that shit for cheap. He's like, I want to do a movie. All right, we got this. All right, let me do that.
So I thought the Captain Marvel trailer was pretty decent. I mean,
It ticks all the boxes, which is kind of like the same old.
I just want people to understand that Carlos's review of the trailer is the best review I've seen from a sane person. It's decent.
Yeah, nothing really got me like there's some parts that were pretty exciting. Some parts that were like it just fell flat. A lot of like the what is it called? The dialogue just didn't fall for me. Like it was just it seemed kind of off-putting. I like the fact when she turned Super Saiyan, I was like, oh shit, she turned Super Saiyan. But going back to another thing that was discussed, I think Captain Marvel will be really successful next year because not only like you guys are factoring in all the comic stuff, but I mean most of the people that are going to watch this are not comic book people, and also this is directly tied to Avengers Endgame. So a lot of people are going to watch this movie just because they know Captain Marvel plays such a pivotal role in the next Avengers movie. So I think just those two in general is enough to put a lot of people in those seats.
What's next? The Avengers movie, the Nick Fury movie. Which one is the next?
There is no Nick Fury movie.
That's not. There is.
No, there's not. There's not.
No, they should be doing a Nick Fury movie
instead of a Shang-Chi movie. Carlos, I agree that the first week is probably going to do really well, but I think after word of mouth starts spreading, if the movie's bad, then it's gonna drop off. But if the movie's halfway decent, if it's an Ant-Man type of movie, then it'll do okay.
I think the one.
No, Brett, it's gonna get a pass from critics. We already know that, but I'm talking about the general audiences.
It's Marvel's strong female character that they. I mean,
I'm talking about the audiences. I'm talking about the audiences here because remember, the Last Jedi was praised to high hell.
I think that the Wonder Woman, like as good as the movie was, like tell me that didn't get a bump.
No, it was a good movie. It was a genuinely good movie.
It was a fine film. It just felt like a movie from like 20 years ago.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
It felt like we were watching
Yeah, it was a good movie, but it wasn't
Something like
come on.
Spider-Man or
No,
X-Men.
it wasn't the greatest movie of all time. Hell no.
No.
But compared to other DCEU movies, yes, it fucking was.
And that might be why it got the bump. I'm not saying why it got the bump. I'm just saying it got a bump. And so I think just the whole like, well, this is Marvel's Wonder Woman. Like that might give it a bump, man.
Maybe.
Yeah,
it is tied directly into Endgame, and I'll double down on what Carlos said. That's the fact that she's not a big name comic character might be exactly why this movie works.
I mean, they do have the one thing about her not being a very popular character. There's a lot of things that people aren't married to as far as changing the origins and things around. It's what happened to Blade, where it's like nobody knew who the fuck Blade was.
Yeah. Hey, listen, my hope is that they make the character good in the movie, so she'll be good in the comics. That's all I want.
I'm hoping that where it's like we essentially she gives the personality that she didn't have into in her movie, and then all of a sudden now the character in the comics is not a post like she usually is.
Yeah, because they always send. By the way, that it's really weird reading Doctor Strange now, and he sounds like Benedict Cumberbatch. It's really fucking weird.
Yeah, but I think they added more Benedict Cumberbatch isms to him. But I do think that I feel like he's just like a couple of characters. Doctor Strange somewhat suffered from sounding like the authors and a bit samey.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
Well, it's just like Tony Stark is Robert Downey Jr. now.
Yeah,
he totally is.
I'm still not used to that, by the way.
But I mean, as much as I love the Iron Man comic book character, like he did not have that oomph. I mean, to be honest, the only defining characteristic he's ever had was the fact that he was a fucking drunk.
That's also Carol Danvers' other characteristic. One, she had a power stolen from Rogue, and then two, she was a drunk. That's like the only thing she had going for her, Anyway, anybody else want to give their thoughts on the trailer?
Another thing I have to say is like I love Sam Jackson, but I feel like they kind of along with making him younger and looking like the way he did in the 90s, it's almost like they flashed back his roles to the way they were in the 90s too, being the plucky sidekick. I feel like it's like a bit of a step backwards for him. You know what I mean? Like now, like he's just support now. Come on, give the dude his own movie.
Yeah. All right, man. Let's move on here. Back to G Megaforce here. This one's gonna get interesting. Why are people materialistic and believe in quote unquote social status? I have often heard people say things like, you should go to college. You're a loser if you work at McDonald's, a loser if you go to community college, a loser for shopping at Walmart, etc. Wow.
that is quite a question, and that is the quandary of society, my friend.
That's it.
There is, people like to believe that there is no respect in actually just having a job. Especially in this day and age where people are scrounging for money and all kinds of stuff like that. You'd think that just having that one job there can lead into something else. To be honest, I think people should be thankful that they do have fucking jobs. Just because you work at a McDonald's, you know what? You're earning your pay. At least you're not on the street begging for money.
Yeah,
the system.
We all have a role in society, and whether it's a janitor, whether it's the CEO of a company, whether it's an artist or an engineer, everyone has their own roles, and some are given more importance, so they therefore benefit materialistically more than others. But also for me, I think at least people who work at like quote unquote low skilled jobs, whatever that means, right? I think they should be given the benefit of having a living wage, so they can live their lives with dignity. Because sometimes people
it reminds you of the gas station attendant. Do you remember that when someone would come out and pump your gas and you could stay in the car? And those people always got abused. They were like, "Oh, look, you're just pumping gas for a living." That used to be a joke. So then when a lot of gas stations removed that, I was like, "Oh, well, there's no need for that. Now you pump your own gas." And it was like, well, shit. Well, I miss those people. Oh, you miss those people now. It's like you put them down. It's still a job. Now you have to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're not doing shit, someone has to do these. Someone has to flip the burgers. You know what I mean? Somebody has to
Put 'em
do
down.
those jobs.
I don't.
So
I don't think.
Until
I
they
don't
build
think.
a
I mean,
robot that flips burgers, you
here's
know.
yeah.
and
There's
serve
nothing.
it.
No.
But somebody
Here's
has
the
to
thing.
build those fucking robots, you know.
As people, I mean, everyone in here, we could definitely say, most definitely say, we didn't come from any sort of privileged sort of background. All of us, all of our families were maybe middle class or lower middle class. So we
Except Craig,
understand.
he's rich.
Yeah.
I wish I was middle class.
We can understand lower middle class. We can understand that is just the way the world is. Our parents scrounged just for the smallest thing that they could have in their lives. And I feel like especially nowadays where you have like jobs like there's like a shortage of people to build cars, or there's a shortage of people that have skills like plumbing. People think, oh man, you're just a plumber or you're just a janitor. Those
That's a
jobs
job.
are
Yeah.
freaking good jobs.
Yeah.
Dumping the garbage, being a garbage man. You know what? Yeah, you deal with garbage, but you know what? You get paid pretty goddamn good to pick that shit up.
Yeah, I just paid $180 for a plumber to come over last Sunday.
Yeah, but the thing is, people look at those jobs. It's like, oh no, I want to be a glamour. I want to do the glamorous job. Here's the thing: what as in your life? Yes, you may be doing a job that you may not have actually wanted, but you know what? You should also have something else in your life that's beyond just the job.
Yeah.
Always try to do something that you want to do in your life, whether it be the actual thing that you do for a living, or it's the side gig.
Most people
thing.
Most people growing up have aspirations to be a millionaire or having so much wealth in their lives. And to a lot of people, like, I mean, that happened to me. I was like, oh, like, I want to be a millionaire when I'm like 25 or whatever. It's like, but those aspirations, for the most part, yeah, you do see success stories. You do see people doing those things. But at the end of the day, the majority of society cannot be that. And there comes a time to every person where it's like you have to be set with what you're doing, and you have to be proud of what you're doing because you're doing your role in society so it could progress. And there's no shame in that. The only people who shame that are people who are young and are not at that point yet, and they still have aspirations to do something like that. And old people who are rich. Those are the people who look down on society, on the lower end of society.
Or it could be people on that same level who just want to hate on somebody else just to hate on them.
Yeah.
Or somebody that
Ding.
What happened, Brett? Yeah, that's what it is. People want to hate on each
No,
other.
it's people are assholes, and they will find a reason to look down their nose at you because it makes them feel better about themselves.
Exactly.
And it doesn't help especially when dealing with money, every advertising campaign for luxury this or designer that is prepackaged with the idea of this makes you better than other people. So when they're talking about the trash people that shop at Walmart, part of that is them trying to cling to an identity that says they're successful because they've paid money for more successful things. So intrinsically they are better.
even though the same bullshit, the same shit, a lot of the same shit that they sell at the Walmart is exactly the same shit that they sell at the more expensive store, just with a fancy label on it. I used to know a guy who worked for a company that made essentially generic clothing, right? So they would essentially just hand over the same designs to a designer company or to the Walmart place, and all the company would do is just slap their label on it and call it a day.
Oh, absolutely. Like, what's really funny too is they move the goalposts. Like, for every person that you see, like, you have an upper middle class guy looking at, Manny or me or somebody like that, like somebody who deals with art, something that is culturally significant. And they will scoff at us for the amount of money that we make. We're like, well, you're not successful. You should get a real job. I've had people tell me to my face that I should get a real job. But the second, and obviously they're equating success with money. But then those same people, you put them in a room with a garbage collector that makes twice as much as they do.
Oh, yeah.
And they go, well, but he deals with trash all day. I do important work. They'll just move the goddamn goalpost and do mental gymnastics just to look down on everybody else because they want to justify their own decisions as the best.
Shit, if
You
you
just
don't
gotta
pick up the
ignore
trash, that trash will pile up in front of your house. Then what?
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You know, you treat those dudes with respect, man. That's a fucking crazy ass job to do.
That's why when I pollute and people are like, yo, why are you polluting? It's like, yo, I'm just helping
I'm
somebody
putting
else keep
people
a
to
job,
work,
man.
man.
Yo, man, I'm keeping people employed. What are you talking about? Somebody needs to come and clean the street up now. In fact, I'll file a complaint and say this street is dirty, so they could send somebody to clean it.
And-
That's a job.
And here's the kicker:
Okay.
the people who are complaining are the people in the middle. Do you think people that are satisfied emotionally with what they add to the world, if you're doing charity work or you're doing art or you're writing a novel, you're generally satisfied? People, a lot of times, like, artists don't make the most money, but we're happy doing what we do. On the other side of the spectrum, you have the people who have made a shitload of money. They're usually, honestly, if like they're super successful, honestly, they're kind of not super shitty people if they've made their own wealth. The only time where you really have people being total dicks is when they're afraid that they land somewhere in the middle, either in value or incompetence. You see trust fund people act like assholes because they know they're incompetent. They know they're not good at anything, and they're insecure about it.
And they never needed to work a day in their life for anything they've gotten. You
Exactly.
know, they're just like, oh yeah, I'm better than you. Why? What makes you better? You didn't earn that money.
And they know that. That's why they're giving you the hard time. So the funny thing is, usually when somebody's giving you the business about being more successful, it's because in some way they know that they're lacking. Either they're not satisfied with what they do, or they're not making as much money as they feel like they should.
Yeah, or they deserve something. And like go a little further with this. I remember that we also asked about colleges. I mean, I'm as a person who's gone to college, and I mean, at least as an art college, I would say it was kind of useless. Paid all that money for what? I mean, not to say anything like, but having an art degree is kind of a useless degree. I mean, I've never, in no point in time, at any job that I've ever worked at, have I ever been asked for my degree.
Yeah,
I have a bachelor's degree in fine art. So
you might as well wipe your ass with that.
I knew that even then because I was already semi working in the industry when I left my when I left college. I already had pretty some work going on and stuff. So I mean, after that, I kind of gave that to my mom, and I'm like, hey, you earned this, because I really have no use for this point in time. The only things that I could say that I got out of it was because I kind of created that sort of environment on my own. A lot of people tend to, when they go into college, they expect the college to give them all the answers. The sad thing about it all is that college will not always give you the answers. In fact, a lot of college is doing the shit on your own. I mean, going through art college, I mean, especially when you go through, certain teachers are not going to they won't give you an answer. They only will give you, because a lot of them are working artists, they'll only give you their solution to whatever whatever they came upon when they started creating their work.
And did you ever run into the whole I paid, basically saying, so I paid you to teach me how to get better. How do I get better? And they go, practice. You're like, well, then what am I paying you for?
Mean, the one thing I did early on when I went into it, and I thought this was the best thing ever. I went because I couldn't afford day school, so I went to night school for maybe 2 or 3 years. And over there, all the people that are in night school, they're not freaking privileged kids. They're not a kid who has a fucking trust fund and their parents figured out that they do some art and just paid the whole tuition for the year. No, these were people like you and me. They wanted to learn a new skill, so they went into night college, and they're learning how to do all this additional stuff, so to kind of make their lives, make their work better. I liked going to the night school when they kind of screwed around with my stuff, screwed around with it. They were like, oh yeah, now you have to go to the day classes, and they cost way more. But then you had a bunch of delusional fucking kids in there going, oh, I'm going to do this, and they actually do nothing with their skill.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on, because actually we actually are getting a bunch of questions here, so I want to move on. What's up?
I just want to read something from Technofabulous real quick.
All right.
He said, I went to college and earned my engineering degree. I ended up becoming an electrician and making great money. Growing up, I came from a middle-class family, and at times my parents really struggled. My parents struggling is what drove me to constantly improving my life. I work very hard and I am constantly taking courses and improving my knowledge in electrical trade. I have never looked down on anyone's job or profession. I worked really hard to get where I'm at and generally put in 60. Yeah, man. That's most
that's
of
how you do it.
us.
Yeah,
I mean,
actually, you know what? Since
you are doing the future job, man, because everything runs off of fucking electricity.
Yes, exactly. Somebody's got to keep those robots going. Somebody was talking about automation. One quick thing I do want to throw in before we move on, right? Because this kind of brings it all home to how crazy it is how we judge people for the jobs they have, right? You guys remember Theo from the Cosby Show, right? Back in the day. Yeah. Okay, so somebody found him working at a Target, right? Took a picture of him. They made fun of this man like crazy. Like, oh, look at this big ass celebrity. He's working at a Target. Look at this motherfucker, right? And he came back with like a great response, very high level stuff. But I'm like, okay, hold on. It doesn't matter what this guy used to do, right? He's working. He's making his fucking money. Why should he be ashamed that he's making money for himself and his family? That's fucking crazy. It doesn't matter what your job is. If the guy's making bread, he's working hard. It's better that he's not on the street being a fucking bum or something,
Yeah. It reminds me of from Wu-Tang, Capadon, who's part of Wu-Tang. I got to interview him a long time ago, but anyway, it turned out that he was the cab driver in Staten Island, and people brought that up, and MTV actually went and followed him, and I was like, "Are you cab?" He's like, "Yeah." He was like, "I need to put food on the table," and I wasn't getting any music gigs, and it wasn't working out for me, part of the whole Wu-Tang thing, so he started becoming a cab driver. And it's like, yo, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, you got. I mean, you know what? Nobody ever asks about the bigger question about when it comes to people like that. What happens when it all dries up? I mean, a lot of those especially child stars or maybe even rappers. A lot of times they kind of mismanage their money. I mean, you have people like there's quite a bit of people that were child stars that totally had their fortunes decimated by their own fucking parents.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't have anything.
Macaulay Culkin. That was the whole thing. He did. He's not disowned them. What did he do? He cut himself off that he no longer has parents. Remember, that was the big thing. He went to court
because they were screwing him around. They freaking took all his money.
They took all his money. Yeah.
So
the opposite is true as well. Like a majority of highly successful people aren't successful until later in their life. Like, so you have people who start off very successful. They don't necessarily end up that way. And the weird thing is the majority, and I don't mean like, slightly, I mean like 60 to 80% of like millionaires are like self-made millionaires are failures well into their 30s. And so the interesting thing is what you would consider the most successful people are the people on the highest rung and the people on the lowest rung. They're the same fucking people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. Because people just focus on the end part of it. Like, oh, look, that guy's a millionaire. They don't think about the part how he got to be a millionaire in the first place.
I mean, that's the thing with anything. Everybody romanticizes they got there, blah blah blah, but they didn't see how much work it took to get there.
Yeah, this is why I get really like kind of upset when the rich are lying, like demonize them. Like, motherfucker, somebody had to work hard to make that kind of money. Yeah, maybe the ways they got the money was shitty, but work had to be put in. But it is interesting, like because people think that it's rich people that look down on poor people. Some do, obviously, but most of the people that look down on on quote unquote poor people or regular people are regular people themselves. Like Brett said, they're fucking jealous because of this other thing, or they're just haters. They're just a bunch of haters.
Yeah, I agree with Brett's point too. It's like inherent nature for people to bring down others to try to lift you up.
You're right about it. Think about it. You could be on the same level as your neighbor, and you'll still find some way to justify it that you're better than him, and try to put him down. That's just human nature, man.
It's the reason you don't see happy gamers all over Twitter.
Yeah, that's a fact. All right, that's a great segue.
I'm a happy gamer.
Yeah, happy console gamer. Shout out to him. All right, moving on here to Black Metal Gamer. All right, something not as heavy as the last question. What are some of the best and worst movie trilogies?
The original Star Wars trilogies.
By the way, this is the typical Throwdown thing. We're quiet for like 10 seconds, and then everybody jumps in at once.
Best movie trilogy.
I would say, for me, Indiana Jones, but it's not really a trilogy. They just keep making them. They didn't really link from one to the other.
No. There were only 3.
Yes, there were only 3. Yeah.
As I recall, Brett is right.
Yeah, Brett
One
is
was a
yeah.
prequel. You
No,
know,
no,
so
no, 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 no,
really,
no. There's only 3 movies. They're all made
it
in the
doesn't
80s.
matter. It
They're all
doesn't.
made
But
in
it
the
doesn't
80s.
matter. The whole point is, I'm saying it's a trilogy. It doesn't. It didn't carry over like the way the Matrix did. You know, like oh, we can't wait till the next one because the next one's going to continue the
Yeah.
story.
Well, the Matrix 2 was the Matrix 2 was a tag along, was a tag on because there was no opening for a sequel inside of the first film. He just flew off. That's it. You could have ended the movie like that.
By the way, speaking about bad movie trilogies,
the Matrix trilogy.
Matrix, one good movie and then 2 horrible fucking movies.
Big Bro, come on now, that was awesome.
Oh,
I
fuck that.
I disagree.
You mean that cheesy CGI piece of junk that they made?
Oh, it was so good.
That
No,
was
it was
terrible.
horrible.
Dude,
Go watch it again. Go watch those.
I
Go watch those
watched-
gooey people, as you used to call them. I remember
It's
that shit.
fun. I like it.
Go
I
watch
still
them
watch
Okay,
it.
you know what? If Adam likes it, if he has, I don't want to argue about the merits of the
all right,
Matrix.
So this is how I am about the Matrix. The first one is one of the greatest movies ever made.
Yes.
The second one is, to me, it's an okay movie. The third one is a horrible movie.
Yeah,
So
third one was horrible.
Yeah, so like to me, it's like balanced.
Interesting.
It's not good or
The
bad.
way I see it, I'm
Remember
like
fighting the two dread guys?
To me, I'm like 2/3 of this
God.
trilogy. 2/3 of the trilogy's trash, so the whole thing goes. That's the way I, see
to
it.
to be honest, for me, like I think the first movie is at mediocre, and the last two things are just in the bag of suck. It's just junk.
Yeah, so I gotta.
It's like when they ran out of it's like when they ran out of shit to rip off of a bunch of other more creative people. Then they started writing their own shit, and then it's like, oh, what happened to you?
So glorious work. I'm gonna echo what he's saying. The Lord of the Rings trilogy is one of the greatest trilogies ever, and the Hobbit trilogy is one of the worst.
I agree.
Oh,
I agree.
yeah.
Yes,
Beat me to it.
I agree. I agree with that completely. Lord of the Rings
The
trilogy.
The Hobbit could have been good if it were just 2 movies.
One movie could have done it.
Yeah, it
man.
was just one movie, and Guillermo del Toro directed it.
Oh God.
Oh, this could be the greatest movie
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah, no, you're right about that. How do you go from like one of the greatest movie trilogies ever to one of the worst ones by the same director?
Well, Tony,
What's up?
Star Wars trilogy, and the prequels,
Oh,
and
shit.
the sequels.
Oh,
We still haven't got to the third one, but
No, but those it's like going downstairs, right? The drop from the original trilogy to the prequels is like you went a whole landing, and then to the modern movies you skipped a few flights.
oh yeah, man.
you know.
Yep.
Like now we're just kind of going with the bad ones, all right? So
Well,
far.
we can go good or bad, whatever you want. You know, he asked for both.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with the Hobbit, and man, what's the greatest one? I can't really give anything.
No,
that's
just
great.
your favorites. You just have to be the greatest of all time.
That's
But
a hard one.
It is a hard one because
every-
most
because-
trilogies are not
That's a
good.
hard one because every trilogy kind of goes off the rails at like 2, at 3. So it's like it's at its highest point at 2, and then totally drops off at a third one. You know what? I'm gonna go with Star Wars. You know, I'll
Yeah,
go
the
with that.
original.
That's
Yeah.
good one.
the original Star Wars trilogy.
Actually,
Tony.
here's the thing.
Tony.
The
Tony.
Batman. What's up?
Tony, Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, but that's not a movie.
That's
No,
not
I
a
know,
movie.
but what does that make you think of?
Oh, the Dollars trilogy. There you go. That's a good
Yep.
one.
Back to
You
the
know.
Future trilogy is pretty good.
Yeah, the third one wasn't as good, but
The
Again,
last one wasn't.
but again, using my own thing, 2/3 of that was good, so I'm going to give it a good. You know.
Yeah, I didn't like Back to the Future 2 very much.
Did you like Alien 3?
No, but
the
again,
David Fincher alien was
but
terrible.
again, 2 out of 3. So I'm
Yeah,
going to go
the
yes.
two-
Oh yeah,
The
but
first two are-
it was going in an upward trajectory. I mean, the Ridley
Yes.
Scott original was great. The James Cameron one was fantastic, right?
Yes.
And then David Fincher brought that shit right back.
But you know what, the problem with the David Fincher one, right? You know, it's sad because that film wasn't even fully his fault. Because a lot of that shit got fucked around by the studio.
I'm sure, but like you got to fight for some stuff. I mean, James Cameron set you up so well, and it just went to shit.
You got to fight, but I mean, you're a director that nobody knows about. And obviously, the studio is going to stomp all over your shit. That's what happened with Fan Four Stick.
Well, I mean, but Josh Trank had no cred. I mean,
yeah.
before Zack Snyder became a total sellout, like with Watchmen, you should look at the Watchmen special and the shit he had to fight against.
Mhm.
Like what they wanted to do with all the characters like Rorschach and stuff, and he had to go, no, we're sticking with the comic. We're not going to do all this crazy bullshit. And he fought back and he won on a lot of it, you know.
By the way,
So-
here's a
Well,
recent
it was such a long
trilogy that's
movie.
good. The Planet of the Apes trilogy, the new
I
movie.
haven't seen the
Yeah, the
last
new
It
one.
was pretty good. That was
Yeah.
all right.
The first two are great though. The first two are pretty good.
So wait, they wanted to make a trilogy out of the Watchmen after they did the 5-hour movie. They wanted to keep going with that.
No. I'm talking about
Oh.
Just
like
in
Manny
general.
said, the studio wanted to fuck with the characters. Like they
Uh-huh.
were not going to be like the comic at all.
You know what's a
And
good?
Zack Snyder fought it.
Oh, sorry. You know what's
No, go ahead.
you know what's a good trilogy actually? And this, for me, it's like the worst one was the first movie. It's the fucking Captain America trilogy.
Yeah, that is a trilogy if you think about it. Even though
It's
they're
a
not.
good trilogy.
Yeah,
I
it's a
mean,
good one. That's a good one.
I mean,
I like
we
them
talk-
all, so yeah,
We
I'll
talk
count
about
that.
the connection,
Yeah.
though. I mean, that's my only issue with the whole deal, is that after 2, it just all went off the rails. It's like, really, how much of that really does connect to the last film? If you haven't seen the 10 other films that were in between it, that's my only. That's actually my biggest fear with a lot of the Marvel movies. Like officially, you can't watch any one of the trilogies on their own without them being disturbed by the fact that you may have not seen some of the other films in the series.
Yeah, like Thor Ragnarok kind of has that too.
Yeah,
Like I like Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 1, 2. I didn't like 3.
3 was trash.
yeah.
Yeah, three
No.
was so
He even
bad.
said it was trash. He didn't want to do that one, but
Mhm.
this Sony forced him. So.
Yeah. By the way,
Speaking of that,
Glory.
my
Go ahead,
my
Chris.
favorite trilogy is the Evil Dead trilogy.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, there you go. That's a good one. And Glorious War is preemptively saying that John Wick trilogy's the greatest one.
That's getting there. That's getting there. I'm sure.
Well,
that
you know, if it follows the third movie of the trilogy, usually the third movie of the trilogy is a piece of junk.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Same with
Yeah.
and Brett. Same with Deadpool.
Uh-oh.
Batman Begins 3. That was.
Yeah. By the way,
I
GZDR.
was surprised by how good Deadpool 2 was, though. So if they don't completely flounce the third one, that's a pretty good candidate.
They're in a high point. 2 is usually the highest point, and then third movie they get the bigger budget, and then the studio comes in and says, no, you can't do that. Put Venom in there.
No, you can't.
No.
Yeah. By the way, GZDR says that the Batman trilogy is fire. So
Okay.
The Dark Knight trilogy.
No.
yeah, he's talking about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Dark Knight trilogy is pretty great. The only part was Dark Knight Rises was kind of sketchy, but
I didn't like
Mr.
Batman Begins.
Woody.
I didn't like Batman Begins or the third one. I thought the second one was the best of them, but the one thing about it is that it doesn't work without the first one.
By the way, I just learned something about Barry Burton. He says Gremlins 2 was a sequel and also the greatest movie ever made. That is why they never made a Gremlins 3. Gremlins 2 was perfect.
But Gremlins
make a
2,
cartoon?
they changed it.
Hey, yeah. Hey, Newback was cool, man.
They came very tongue in cheek.
Yeah, I did, yeah. All right, any other trilogies, good or bad?
Toy Story trilogy is great.
All right.
What about Shrek?
that was up there. That was fun.
Shrek Forever After was not that great.
The third
Despicable
one was
Me.
bad,
Those
right?
I don't know. I only ever saw the first one. I was just
Shrek,
tossing in there.
Shrek the third was good actually.
Yeah, no, the 3 Shrek films were actually pretty decent. Like they stayed. Here's the thing.
Fourth one was terrible.
They stayed around the same level, yeah. But then that fourth one,
Yeah. All right. Yeah, go
I
ahead.
know this is just me, but Expendables, I liked them. Like,
Yeah,
I couldn't complain about it. They were as good as they could ever be.
Exactly. I mean, they tell you right off the bat what we are. You know, it's not.
It's like it's giving you everything you want. They're just giving you enough stories so that those guys could just blow the shit out of everything. So why,
Exactly. Everybody wants to see people at some of those back in action, like with Chuck Norris and with Wesley Snipes. I mean, they didn't even hide it. It was like, oh, where were you? He's like, I was in prison. All right, for how long? For what? It was like tax evasion, and that was really what happened in real life. That was it. He was like, oh, really? He's like, yeah, okay.
I say, Mr. Wayne, no, brother.
The fire rises.
Fire rising.
We are Venom.
Oh God.
Oh shit.
Oh shit.
Oh man. All right, let's move on to the next one. This is kind of fun. What are your favorite genres or subgenres of metal? Or if you're not into metal, what other music genres are you into? Very interesting. Let's start with the metal guys first. What are your favorite subgenres?
Subgenres? I mean, they added all these subgenres in the
There's
last
a lot.
10 to 20 years,
Exactly.
so I don't exactly know them all now.
Well,
Like, yo, man, I like the genre with the guitars.
Yeah, right.
No, it's like they're like grind metal and
Yeah, I mean the ones that I remember: speed metal. I like speed metal. Norwegian black metal. I love Norwegian black metal.
all right.
Whatever would classify as heavy metal, because people don't know anymore, and they put Foo Fighters on the top of that list, and I don't get that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, people who don't know.
know,
There's the same people
yeah.
that put comics in the anime section, in the manga
Yeah,
section.
right?
Like,
Yeah,
what?
exactly. Yeah. That's. I mean, I know there's some other ones. What was it? Like you said, man. I think there is a grind. I think.
Well, I'll name some of the ones he listed: black metal, thrash metal, folk metal, glam metal, industrial metal, stoner metal, traditional metal. He goes, "Why am I hearing this in Bubba Gump's voice?"
But you know
I
what?
love shrimp and shrimp
But you know what?
kebab.
I think you just with some of those, I think they're just adding metal, because there is glam rock, there is industrial, there is goth, but I don't remember them ever sticking metal on it.
Yeah, hearing the metal in the part of it's like, oh, I like metal. God.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, some of them had the metal elements, but it's what it is. I mean, it's some of it. It's like, for example, like Manson when he did what's it called, Mechanical Animals, which is more glam. He did that. I mean, it was pretty much that one album, but he's just rock and roll. I mean, I wouldn't call him as metal or glam rock.
That's not metal.
That's not metal.
No.
That's what I'm saying. It's like I wouldn't. But that's the thing. It's like, is he a glam rocker? No, he did a glam rock album. So I don't know.
I mean, for a lot of us, I can kind of say I like all those genres.
Yeah, I could say it's easier for me to say the subgenres I don't like as much than it is, because I like most of them. The only ones I don't like as much is doom metal, because it's just too slow. It kind of takes the point of metal away. Metal's supposed to be fast and energetic. Doom metal's literally stoner metal. It's like, why am I listening to this? And then black metal. I know black metal gamers asking it. I need to be in a very specific mood to listen to that lo-fi shit. I'm sorry. This is why I like Demu Borgir, because the production is good. I can't listen to that.
That's
fucking.
You called it. What's the style of that one? Remember, that has its own
symphonic black metal.
There you go. Symphonic.
That shit I like.
I like that
because the production is good.
Yeah,
They don't sound like they did everything with like a shitty a shitty ham radio. They don't like.
It's like, was it septic flesh?
Yeah, like, I don't know. To me, a lot of this. I'm going to piss off the black metal guys right now. A lot of black metal to me sounds like punk with a witch singing over it, because it's like the same three chords, like it's like whatever, man. But yeah, the other stuff. But the thing is, my favorite subgenre will change depending on the week. Like right now, I'm not even listening to metal right now. I'm listening to like a bunch of 80s hard rock. They called it metal back then. It wasn't metal. That's the one I'm listening to now. Next week it could be death metal. Next week after that, it could be fucking power metal. I like it all.
Yo, man, you listen to some Def Leppard, you're like,
yeah, man. As a matter of fact,
you know what I realized?
Yeah, I was listening to. Yeah, I've been listening to a lot of Whitesnake, specifically with Doug Ulrich on there. Fuck.
Was it last week? I realized that one of my favorite bands is Queens of the Stone Age.
Interesting.
I never realized how much I listened to. I'm like, shit, I really like these fucking guys. Like, constantly, like their new album, Villains, and stuff. And I just found a great playlist on Spotify, and I just listened to it.
That's not metal.
It's not metal. It's not metal. It's considered stoner rock, which I don't get either. Because Caius, which is the first band of most of the members of Queen, it's like 10-minute long songs. That's stoner rock to me. It's like these long solo.
I think they call Queens of the Stone Age stoner rock because of the Caius connection. I think that's what it is.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
Brand New Sin, that's stoner metal rock.
I consider Brand New Sin more like country metal, if that's even a thing.
Soulful.
Yeah, it's like a bunch of country guys playing metal. That's what it sounds like to me.
Can you take me higher?
That's not metal. That's not metal.
I don't know. I just wanted to sing it.
You want to know? You want to know? You want to know a Christian metal band? They're called Striper.
Yes, old school, man.
They have an
Soldiers under
album called "To
command.
Hell with the Devil." There you go.
Yeah, Chris, what about you, man?
I was gonna say like my favorites are like prog metal, like Rush.
Yes,
Oh,
And
Dream Theater, Symphony
Mastodon,
X. Yeah.
and
Dream
then
Theater?
traditional stuff like Deep Purple and Zeppelin, and so that's like old metal, you know. So and Judas Priest, I would consider like traditional,
Yeah.
more traditional metal. And then I do like this symphonic stuff though. I mean, Children of Bodom would count as symphonic
Oh yeah.
metal,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You like
That,
Cradle
So
Filth?
I love that.
yeah, but that's not black metal.
No,
Yeah.
That's considered like emo black metal.
Cradle of Filth is kind of funny.
Yeah, they're more funny than anything. To be
They
honest.
sound like a joke. I mean, they have like,
They take themselves very
come on,
seriously.
it's just like we have so many vampires. They're telling you creepy stories and a thing.
And I mean, I'm not really an industrial fan. I do like Sepultura though.
Yes.
And you like Ministry?
Yeah,
I love
but
Ministry.
I don't like
Love
most
Ministry.
industrial death metal. I don't like it, but I do like those bands.
I like baby metal.
Yeah, there you go. That's that's actually the genre of that is kawaii metal. I'm not making that up.
Japanese.
It's Yui metal.
That's what it's called. It's called kawaii metal.
Yeah, because they
Because
got a
they
bunch of
created
people
it.
playing it.
You know.
Man.
Oh man, I was watching this one thing about the history of metal, and one part like, can you break down all the metal subgenres? And they listed some real ones, and then they threw in some fake ones in there. Like my favorite one is, and I want somebody to create this somehow, ambient thrash. I'm still trying to figure out how you would make that work. Like how would it be like what's it, Carlos? What's the name of that show when you crackle stuff and people get off on it or something to go to
ASMR.
Yeah, ASMR metal. That's the shit.
No, man, it's thrash that goes so fast it just blends into a low pitch hum.
Is that what it be?
You play so fast it sounds slow.
Like the only way I could hear it in my head is like, you know.
It's really light.
All right. And for the genres outside of metal, what is your favorite genre? What are your favorite subgenres of that genre? Brett, I'm going to go to you.
Oh, I do like metal too. I like I think you'd probably qualify it as folk metal.
Oh yes, that's right.
Like Corpiclani. I love pirate metal, like Hailstorm, and whatever. What the fuck is Evolente?
That's a genre, by the way, people.
Yeah, pirate metal.
Pirate metal's a genre. What was your question, Brett?
What is Evolente?
I consider that folk metal.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty much folk metal. I also like punk rock, ska, and hip hop.
There you go. What are your favorite subgenres of hip hop?
Symphonic hip hop.
Ambient hip hop.
Hip hop.
You know, I really don't have. I don't really know how to say it. It's. I like hip hop. I don't like rap.
Okay.
No, I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. That's a lot of underground artists like LP, Cage, A$AP Rock, and stuff. That's just a different type.
Yeah, I could say like Aesop Rock, Atmosphere.
Yeah, Atmosphere and stuff. They have a message. They all feel like they're saying something, you know, and it's not so much of the catchy hooks. It's more of the messaging.
Yeah, dude. Bus Driver too. Bus Driver can rap like a motherfucker.
Blackalicious and stuff.
All right, cool. That was a fun question. All right, moving on here.
Am I the only one here who listens to stuff other than metal?
No.
No, Carlos doesn't.
Carlos,
what about you?
Carlos is
Carlos likes,
an eclectic.
Yeah. Carlos likes a lot of different stuff.
Yeah, I like hip hop. I like metal, but I'm not like really knowledgeable in it, so I can't really go deep into it. I like pop rock, classic rock, prog rock, punk rock, folk. I like some country. And what else?
Bachata music.
Well, then that's another thing. I there's like a whole shitload of Spanish genres that I like, and
Merengue.
I like And actually,
merengue metal.
merengue.
Well, wasn't brujeria like a kind of a no?
They were more
That
black
was-
metal, to be
or-
honest.
or-
Yeah,
or
division of
salsa-
Fear Factory.
Yeah.
Salsa metal will be like.
Yeah, right.
I wish Richard Bailey was in here because he listens to
Oh yes,
spooky goth R&B music.
really? I didn't know that was
Yeah,
existed.
Whoa.
I did not know until if you follow him on Spotify, he's always listening to like "Run up, and I touch you." Oh, it's some creepy ass shit, but it's R&B.
It's creepy R&B. That's a genre
Yeah,
I'd like to hear.
creepy R&B. I was
Yeah.
like, yo, what the hell? And it's nonstop. At first, I thought it was just one day. Maybe he's in a mood. Nope, 24/7. That's what he listens to.
That's how he levels himself out, man. That's how he melts himself out. Listen to that creepy rap, like creepy hip hop music.
By the way, I like this question from GZDR. Manny, you'll like answering this one too. Is Evanescence metal? Evanescence is metal if you don't know what metal is.
No,
Oh, can you see
Yeah.
some people call it like emo rock. Emo rock. That's what that really.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
rock.
and
It's
Daredevil
rock
made
music.
that song big.
Yeah, right.
Sorry, I'm gonna get
Go,
this
go.
out.
You know, I don't like because here's the thing. Like, I've never hated Evanescence. I do like
No, man.
the real version of them. You know,
Lacuna Coil.
Lacuna Coil. But
You know.
Evanescence.
this-
I can say it. I think they did some good work.
No, yeah, there's this one song from Evanescence that I fucking love, but I forgot the name of it. God damn it.
Yeah, listen. If you want to listen to some real stuff, listen to Nightwish. If you want like a female fronted real metal band, listen to Nightwish.
Hailstorm's another.
Yeah, well,
good
that's not
one.
a symphonic, but yeah, Hellstorm's a good one.
No,
That's a
but
hard.
it's
They're not
good
metal
female
though.
lead, female
Yeah,
lead.
not a metal band, but they're a good hard rock band.
Oh.
Yeah.
Kristen wrote, "Still love emo. I give 0 fucks." So shout out to emo. I was a huge emo head.
Yo,
back
man, you put the
when I was in-
eyeliner and shit on, man.
I didn't need it, man. So,
You didn't need
back-
it.
You didn't need it, man, because you didn't get any sleep.
Oh,
yeah, raccoon eyes. Back in the day, I like in high school and like mostly like high school, I was so into fucking emo, man. Shout out! My favorite band was Chiodos, man. Shout out to anybody who knows who Chiodos is.
was that a local band?
Crickets.
I thought that was a meal, man.
That was
That
a
was
Mexican
some Chiodos.
emo band, you know.
No, they're pretty good. I think they're from Detroit or something like that.
Oh shit, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
You got girls though? You listen to that music, man?
Oh yeah,
My man.
We used to always do like. Oh, never mind. I'm not even gonna tell.
They don't not on air, you know.
Oh,
yeah.
and also I've been listening a little bit more to K-pop for obvious reasons.
What are the reasons? Oh, actually, yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah, and K dramas too. You
Hey,
watch.
man, we used to listen to K-pop all the time when we would go to 432.
Black Metal Gamer says that the band you listed, what's their name again, Carlos?
Chiodos.
Yeah, he goes, that doesn't sound like emo. It sounds like a Hispanic gangster rap.
Cholo.
Yo, the Cholos.
Well, that'd be Chiolos.
Yeah.
Cholos.
Cholos.
There was a bar I used to go to in Chinatown called Yellow, and it had a big yellow sign. That was it, and they listened to Chinese hip hop.
Oh shit.
That was interesting. Yeah, that was interesting.
Well, I mean,
that guy Jin got shot there or stabbed there or something.
Who's
Remember
that?
Jin?
Oh,
Jin.
oh
He
yeah.
did some shit happened to him there, and I remember it was shortly after that because they kept talking. I was like, "Oh yeah, you know the Jin, a rapper, he came here and something happened." But they had a big karaoke bar, and some people wouldn't want to do that. But I found it funny because it's a big yellow sign. I'm like, "Oh, we're going to this bar. What's the name of it? Yellow." It's like that's kind of racist
Yo,
at the same time. But
God, the amount of restraint I'm showing right now, you guys don't understand, man. Like, I'll stop before I get in trouble. All right, let's move on here to Weinstein's windowless van. Manny, you'll like this question. Do you guys watch David Jaffe's YouTube channel, and what are your thoughts on the guy?
I actually watch I find him quite entertaining. I watch his show pretty regularly. He posts them he starts them like crazy late at night, and I'm working late at night. I actually called in a couple of times because he actually has an open call system. You can actually ask him any question you want.
Wow.
So
does he still make money from God of War?
I think from what I hear that he has a sizable amount of money that he's able to consistently
Like
do.
royalties, because he created that. Isn't
Yeah,
that
he
his commission?
created it, so he gets something off of it.
Okay.
I think though, I think Jaffe's biggest issue is not the things that he says; it's how he actually says them, and they come off incredibly abrasive. Like, in other words, he could be talking total sense, but it sounds like he's an asshole. He's like an asshole, just literally just being an asshole. But really, he has some interesting things to say about certain things. Obviously, since he's been doing his channel, it's been rubbing people the wrong way, especially when it comes to certain sorts of politics and things like that. But I find him. I finally understand why he stopped making games. Just by tuning into his show. What I noticed is that as an artist, you kind of reach that sort of point, especially when you're working, for the man all the time, and all of your constant ideas are kind of going out to everybody else. And I feel like for him, he kind of already burned all that fire up a long time ago, and that it's just for him to make a game now wouldn't be anything. He says he feels like he has nothing to say and nothing to add. Especially since his last game, Drawn to Death didn't do so well, which he really obviously wanted to do that sort of. But
so what is he doing? What is he doing these days? Like
just doing podcasts. He's like, he's just like, yeah, I'm just doing these YouTube videos and talking to people, and that's all he's doing right now. And it's like, I'm like, that's an interesting thing to go from being like a pretty successful game director to kind of just doing some stuff in his back room.
He must be sitting on money then, you know what I mean? Because
he said he lives comfortably. So
yeah, he's got that money.
I'm sure he doesn't have billions of dollars, but I'm sure he makes a pretty decent amount of money off of the different franchises he has created, and especially since God of War, kind of had essentially just a resurgence from it. I'm sure he's living off that. He also said he invested his money into a bunch of things, so he's making some decent money. He's just not he's not living like a in a mansion.
He doesn't have to hustle for the money. He's got he's okay.
And he says at least for now, he just wants to just talk to people and just about the different topics that are going on in gaming and social media and all that other stuff. So, I mean, I respect it. As much as I respect his work, I also respect the ability to walk away from that work. To be able to say, you know what, fuck this. I don't need to do this anymore. I don't need the hustle anymore.
He should go get with Cliffy B, and they should work on something together. They're both in the same boat
again,
with this.
Talk about another game creator who doesn't need to really work anymore.
Nope.
The only reason why Cliffy B was making any games is because he felt that he had to, but he really didn't have anything to do anymore.
Yeah. And he's another one that still gets paid from the Gears of War.
Exactly. He created the Gears of War franchise, so he constantly gets a check from that thing. So it's like, if you can live comfortably and do just do whatever you kind of want, I think all power to them. It's unfortunate that both of them essentially just ended up making the same sort of game, and both of them ended up horribly failing it. But here's the one thing about them, and they both kind of tilt in that direction. And I feel like the industry kind of doesn't go they kind of come from a somewhat antiquated version of the game industry, where a lot of their games are mostly gameplay games. Like if you look at Gears of War, you look at Cliffy's work on the Unreal thing, it was the concentration was mostly on gameplay, on solid gameplay. The story was like, okay, yeah, we just get a writer to do that. And the same thing with Jaffe. He's looking for fun gameplay, and then the side note was all the story shit. There you go.
Yeah. All right. Anybody else watch this show or have any thoughts on Jaffe they want to share?
I don't watch the show.
Yeah.
I do think if he ever's ever on, you should definitely give him a call. See what happens. I talked to him.
I'll be honest. I'm just not. I'm just not interested.
Invite him on the show.
I'll be honest. I don't care about David Jaffe. Like
you don't care about.
I don't. The guy's a one-hit wonder. I don't care. You know, it
Actually,
just
he actually 3-hit wonder.
yeah, you know what I'm saying. But like you know, I'm just being honest right now. I see him on you know, because his thing pops up on Twitter and stuff. This guy seems like he's on the verge of like a mental breakdown or something. Like there's something like this guy. It seems like that whole show is like a cry for help. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't watch it, but that's the way it looks like to me from watching the bits of seconds of it. I'm like, this guy's going through some shit right now. I don't know.
I mean, granted, he has been diagnosed with quite a bit of things, but I think at the same time, sometimes you have to take a real break from this sort of stuff, or you just drive yourself mad. So I think, in general, yeah, it sounds like he's that way, but I think he's just trying something different nowadays. It's like, especially with just trying to push the game, and he even said it himself. He's like, you know, maybe, you know, after the Drawn to Death thing, he's like, you know, maybe I don't see what's out there. You know, maybe I don't get it anymore. You know what I mean? And I mean that's kind of a admirable thing to say. Where like another was okay, maybe I've lost touch, and that's what he said.
Yeah. All right.
At least he admitted it, right?
Yeah, no, that's good. But I'm just saying, personally, I don't really care about him anymore. I used to really like the Jaffe back in the day because I thought, you know, I liked his abrasive style, but it kind of just wore thin for me. You know, it's like, okay, man, I get it. Okay, I'm done with you, man.
I mean, the one thing I wonder about him, though, as abrasive as he is in the real, and in our, talking to people, I wonder how abrasive he was in the background, and that, talking to his own developers. I feel like he was also kind of like that too, where he just say some shit that would piss people off, that he wanted to get it done,
Yeah, probably. All right, let's move on here. What are some of your favorite comedians and comedy movie actors?
Sad thing about nowadays is there's not a lot of comedians that I enjoy anymore. Everybody seems like they're afraid to say things now.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure a lot of us are just going to name exclusively old school comedians.
Probably,
Richard Pryor,
Dave Chappelle, Richard Pryor, Chris Rock, who's still doing stuff, kind of. What's his face? George Carlin, obviously an amazing one.
Yeah, I miss George Carlin.
Yeah,
he'd be interesting to have right now.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he'd have so many HBO specials.
Oh yeah, that'd be crazy.
Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, Dave Chappelle's one. I'm going to name two guys who are no longer with us, unfortunately. Patrice O'Neill, right, and Bernie Mac.
Yeah.
And Bernie Mac, love those guys.
Richard Pryor was up there. He was awesome.
Yep.
Back in the day, I really liked Andrew Dice Clay. Hey, it's the Dice Man. He was really fun.
Dangerfield.
Yeah,
Rodney
Dangerfield was fantastic. Here's the funny thing: Sam Kinison, I liked him sometimes, and he got annoying other times.
He was too annoying. I couldn't get into.
What's
his name? Brucey. What's?
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, Brucey, the fat guy, right? Yeah, the big fat.
Yeah.
So
Carlos's favorite is Bob Saget.
Oh, Bob Saget.
Oh man, number one.
So he's so edgy, man. He curses.
Yeah, right.
Oh, stop.
Yeah, 80s Eddie Murphy. There you go.
80s Eddie Murphy.
Remember
I'm sure
Raw?
nowadays he'd probably have to apologize for every single thing he said.
Yeah, he was.
Oh, yeah. Go and watch one of his old specials. There's some flowery language would not go so well right now.
Robin Williams is a good one.
Robin Williams. Here's the one thing about Robert Williams. He remained funny all the way up to the end. Like that dude, he couldn't not be funny. Like.
I remember he did that special that was like within like the past year or two before. Remember where he was just doing all the different voices and stuff. And
you can just watch his interviews and they're freaking crazy.
Yeah. Everything he did was he just knew it. I mean, but that's they also say that's also the telltale sign of what he had.
They diagnosed him with Parkinson's. Toward the end, they said that was the issue. The shit was falling apart for him, and that's what was driving him nuts. Because he was like, "Shit, if I can't do what I want to do, and basically do stand up and do movies because of his condition, fuck it." And that was it. And he was always in pain with different issues, and he just ended it.
It's fucking sad, man.
Yeah. I like Bill Burr. He's really good.
Bill Burr's good.
Yeah, he's awesome.
I like Louis Black.
Yeah,
Louis Black. Yeah.
It might cause controversy these days, but Louis C.K. he's a good comedian.
Interesting.
I've never been a fan.
I never thought he was funny, to be honest.
Never got into that humor.
Good comedian, okay?
Yeah.
Never got into that humor. It's like Gilbert Godfrey. It's like the voice is funny, but the stick with everything else never did it for me.
I feel like there's certain. I'm like, have you ever heard Gilbert Godfrey not doing the Gilbert Godfrey voice?
I didn't think that was possible.
I have.
Well, that's not his real voice. That's a character.
Oh wow, I've never heard him not talk like that, even when he was on Howard Stern. You know?
I think he's a lot. Well, I mean, he never talked like that on the Howard Stern show. He had his normal voice, not the screechy one. And I think he's a lot more funny when he's not doing the voice. You know what I mean? Like, I think he's a lot. He seems a lot more interesting with it without it.
Yeah. By the way,
mentions Greg Giraldo. Yeah, I used to I've never seen a special from him, but I used to always see him in the roasts.
Yeah.
Always good.
Jim Norton is another guy I really like. By the way,
the Jim, he has his own show too. Right?
By the way, since we're also talking about comedy actors, okay, this actor has not been a comedy actor for like almost 3 decades, but I still remember him being a comedy actor. Tom Hanks. Remember in the 80s, he was in a lot of good comedy movies.
Well, I mean, Robin Williams did do stand up, so he wouldn't start as an actor though.
Sorry. Yeah. Fergus says Carlos likes Amy Schumer. Hell no, I've never been a fan of Amy Schumer.
Yeah, no. Jim Carrey, he's a good comedy actor. Jim
Carrey did some decent.
Remember, they don't have to be stand up. It's 2 criteria:
comedy actor,
stand-up comedians or comedy actors.
Okay.
The other Jim that's from Mad TV. Remember that
Jim
guy?
Belushi?
No,
Mad TV. No, he said I said Jim Belushi before. Like he said Mad TV.
That he did Half Baked and stuff.
Jim Brewer.
Jim Brewer. Yeah.
Jim Brewer was good.
Yeah, he was good.
Shout out to Constanza.
George Costanza?
Yeah. I forgot
he did. It just wasn't. I don't know. That's another one.
Nobody's gonna name Kramer, right? Nobody likes him no more.
Yeah. Hey, here you go.
It wasn't as funny though. I mean, his character.
Well, obviously, it wasn't because he kept shouting that one word.
Well, that was at one time, but there was other times.
there was that one time.
Because I remember seeing flyers, and especially in the city at Caroline's. He was always at Caroline's.
By the way, this is funny. Glorious Word says the most overrated comics are Amy Schumer and Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart was funny though.
Kevin Hart was funny. He was funny.
Amy Schumer is overrated, not because she's good, but because everybody seems to hate her too.
I don't know who Amy Schumer is. She sounds like a politician.
She did all those funny.
That's her uncle
with John Cena.
Her uncle's Chuck.
Her uncle's Chuck Schumer.
Man, you don't need to worry about her.
I don't know. I don't know who that is.
John Leguizamo, all right, black man.
John Leguizamo, he's still doing it.
He was fucking hilarious in the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Oh man.
Gabriel Iglesias, he's fucking funny. I like him because he has like.
Wait, it says is he related to Julio Iglesias?
Nah.
That's the only one I know. Julio Iglesias,
all
man.
the girls I've loved before.
Because isn't Julio from Spain or Puerto Rican? He's not Mexican.
He's from
Spain. He's from Spain.
And Iglesias is from Mexico. He's Mexican.
Yeah, Gabriel Iglesias. Well, he's Mexican American. Yeah.
Yeah, Mexican.
That's Fluffy, right?
Yeah, Fluffy.
Let me see some of these other guys you guys are naming here. I saw a couple of names I didn't recognize. Corey Holcomb. I don't know who that is.
Felipe Esparza. Felipe Esparza is hilarious. Oh shit! He won Last Comic Standing. He's funny.
I like
Seth Rogen.
Jim Gaffigan. I used to think he was funny.
Yeah,
I like Jim Jeffries.
I don't know who that is.
Hey, I'm gonna say this is controversial, but Bill Cosby before.
Hey, he was funny. Yeah,
he was funny, but man.
Yeah. Shout out to Mr. Bean.
Rowan
Atkinson.
Yeah.
Rowan Atkinson.
Mr. Bean.
I used to like fucking what's his name? Pee-wee, man. When I was a kid.
Yeah.
Hey, the word is
Pablo Francisco. I don't know who that is all day.
I never saw any of his stand-up Pee-wees. I know he did, but I heard it was kind of raunchy.
They were just like a show that he put on. It was like Pee-wee's Playhouse, but it was like but
again, he's I guess you can consider him comedy. Here's one that I like, comedy actors, but I'm gonna put a strong quote unquote on this one. Leslie Nielsen. But here's what was funny about him: he was the straight man. There's a bunch of
he never did anything like he never did anything overtly funny. He was reading everything as like he was reading a normal script. And that's what made him funny.
That's what made him funny. Like, you know, people like, Shirley, you can't be serious. I am serious. And don't call me Shirley. Like, that shit is fucking funny, you know?
Oh, Sarah Silverman. That's another one. She's kind of funny.
Yeah, Martin Lawrence. We can't forget about Martin Lawrence, man.
Yeah, Martin Lawrence.
Oh, my. Hold on. I'm going to slap myself right now. Thank you, Black Metal. Cat Williams. Motherfucker is hilarious.
No. Well,
he's not in jail again, is he?
Yeah, he probably is.
Just busted out a whole list of them. Steve Martin, Chevy Chase, Martin Short.
Oh, no. You're naming some classics.
I was never a big Martin Short fan.
Neither have I. Neither was I.
I don't like him.
I would throw in there Phil Hartman.
Yeah, Phil Hartman's another one. Yes.
Yep.
Ooh, Jim Varney, okay, Pecan.
Jim Varney, you mean Ernest?
Yeah, Pycon Fusion. Ernest. I got your name right this time.
Oh,
even though it's Pykuhan, motherfucker.
Jim Varney. Jim Varney. Was Ernest.
Yeah.
I love all the Ernest movies, man.
Yeah. Jim.
Bill Murray
Jim
was
Varney.
really
Vern.
The cable guy. Remember?
Yeah. Did Vern ever show up in those movies?
No, he never did.
That's what I'm saying. Like, where's Vern?
I always wanted Ernest to do a crossover with Pee Wee, man.
That would have been insane. Ooh, John Candy, he was a great one, man. Legend,
Candy,
you know.
Died too soon, man.
Well, you did mention Belushi.
Yeah, well, yeah, because we're talking about actors too. You know, all those guys that were in Ghostbusters. You know, like Dan Aykroyd and you know, all those
Bill
guys.
Murray.
Yeah, Bill Murray. You know, they were all great.
No one mentions Bateman though.
Yeah.
You mean Winston?
No, or Ernie Hudson.
Yeah.
Wait, was really a comedian?
No, he wasn't. He was.
I know, but
it was with the audience.
When people talk about the Ghostbusters, they just never talk about them.
No. He's talking about Harold Ramis, even though he's the one that wrote a lot of these things.
He wrote so
he wrote so much of that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, he wrote a lot of the stuff in his. He was the sort of straight man with to get everybody else to do things. Oh, I'm more frightened than I could possibly vocalize.
I'm frightened beyond the capacity for rest.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Sasha Baron Cohen. I like.
Yeah, he was funny. Funny.
Oh man,
I kind of got sick of it, but I liked him in Borat.
I mean, Borat was funny.
Yeah. D.L. Hughley, I liked him.
Got around naked. That was funny.
Yeah.
Well,
Eddie Griffin, he's another funny one.
Adam Sandler had like a
in the 90s.
That's
I can't.
I liked him in Saturday Night Live. Yeah, that's where I liked him.
Bronco. Shut up.
Oh yeah, Cedric the Entertainer. You already know, man.
Cedric the Entertainer.
That's a lot of good names.
I like Norm Macdonald.
Norm Macdonald was good.
Yeah, Norm Macdonald.
He's still doing stuff too.
Yeah.
All right, cool, man. Thank you for that question. That was a good one. All right, moving on here, Mr. All Day Digitals. All right, what does it take to make a really? This is a good one. What does it take to make a really good modern day Superman film? I don't understand why it can't be done. What are your thoughts?
He has too many. He's invincible. That's the downfall. He can do everything. See through walls. He got lasers. He can fly. He gets all the chicks. I mean, he doesn't have a flaw, and that's a problem.
The thing is that obviously you build in those sorts of flaws when you try to tell the story, right? Obviously, Superman in the movie, he wasn't like infinitely powerful. I think the thing about it is that, I think the reason why the Christopher Reeve one worked so well is because it didn't try to taint his vision. In other words, he was allowed to be good as opposed to being just kind of this weird a tortured person. Yeah, he had these even in the movie Superman the movie, he did have a past tragedy. But I do think that in general he kind of persevered all of that and became the best that he could be. But even then he was somewhat flawed, and I think that's the biggest issue with the modern Superman films. Everybody wants to make him into fucking Batman, and he's not Batman.
Yeah, that's what some of these recent movies got wrong. It's like they're trying to make Superman all dark and edgy. It's like Superman is not that. That's the whole point of Superman.
I mean, the thing is that why was Christopher Reeve so successful at that role? Because he was so likable.
Yeah, he inspired hope. It's funny because I saw Superman in the movie theaters a couple weeks ago, right? And what was great about his portrayal of the character is like you really felt inspired by him, and I also loved
felt inspired by, and also he felt like your friend.
Yeah, he did. And then there's even the little things in us, like even when he's Clark, he's still like saving people. Like here's a perfect example. I don't know how I didn't catch this originally, right? Remember the scene where they're getting mugged? Mm-hmm. What's the first thing he does? Clark is acting like a bumbling fool, right? But the first thing he does, he's like, "Oh, Lois, we got to be careful." He gets right in front of her. He's trying to act cowardly, but he's still defending her and stuff, And then the first act of that movie, which is still fucking incredible, it sets up the man, not the super of it, the man, And I think here's the thing: to me, making a Superman movie should be fucking easy, But these guys, they try to inject all this other weird shit in there, and they fuck it up. Superman is a very easy fucking character to do, You just got to delve into, why he does what he does, and that, I think that's what people have a hard time with, like. They don't understand. It's like, hey, why does he do these things? Because he feels it's the right thing to do. They can't grasp that for some reason,
And then I think a lot of people see it more as like, as in modern, setting this in modern times, people kind of see him as an authoritarian. Even Frank Miller, even kind of saw him as that sort of thing where he would be a person that would blindly, follow the president to do horrible things because it was the right thing to do.
By the way, and I'm going to say it right now. That's Frank Miller showing that he fundamentally doesn't understand Superman. Yeah. Superman won't just go with an authority figure because they're an authority figure. Same thing with Captain America. Both of those guys, when they have, and you can see in the comics, they will go against the authorities if they feel the authorities are in the wrong. Superman has done it plenty of times. Mm-hmm. Like he doesn't just blindly like listen. Oh, the president wants me to kill 100 million people. Sure, I'll do it. He's not going to do that.
No, he wasn't going to do that. He would try to find a way to not do it.
Yeah, and then the whole thing with the like, oh, he's too powerful. Okay, so don't make him that powerful. That's the beautiful thing about Superman. You can make him as powerful as you need him to be.
Yeah, I mean the Superman cartoon series, they did this. They were able to get drama out of him. He wasn't nearly as infinitely powerful as the comic books.
Yeah. And then, going back to the original Superman, it's like, yeah, why don't you show things that he can't fight his way out of? Like, when his father died, he even said, he's like, I have all these powers, I couldn't do anything. You got to play up some of that stuff, too,
Exactly. And, and that's the other thing that went wrong. It's like, you have Kevin Costner saying, oh, no, let me get hit by the... No! That was... No!
Yeah, that's something he could have stopped. It's like...
the other line in there, he's like, what was I supposed to do? Let them die? In the water? Oh yeah, maybe you should have. Really, Kevin Costner?
Yeah, and the thing of this is what's interesting because everybody says, oh yeah, I relate to Batman more because he's human. I'm like, okay, let's really break that down. Who do you relate to more, Bruce Wayne or Clark Kent? Right? You do identify more with the rich guy who lives in a mansion out in the hills, with the butler serving him, or do you identify with the guy who gets up in the morning, kisses his wife goodbye, he goes to work on a train, and works 9 to 5? Who do you identify with more?
I would say like there's two factors.
Basically, people focus too much on the super and not the man. It's got to be even.
For both of them, there are two different things. There's like, for Batman, it's a man. It's a man. Essentially trying to become the best that he can be, right? In other words, he's trained himself to the thing, so his own weakness is his own himself. Even his past is his weakness, which is also the same thing that gives him the strength. And I think that's the thing that that people relate to, that need to try to do something for something that has happened in your past and being able to get there. Getting over yourself to get there. I think for Superman, it's like he's the other type of relatable, where it's him as a person, where it's like he didn't grow up in a rich house. He was a farm kid. He did but he had these, and he's also an immigrant, so he can relate in those sorts of fashions. But I think a lot of people like to kind of cast him as the white guy superhero or the thing like that. And I think you gotta that it's his. He's almost the one thing about Superman, at least the way that he's been written, is that he's almost too human.
Yeah,
that's where he's related. Yeah. Where he's relatable at.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's always the line said about him. He's like, yeah, he's an alien, but he's the most human out of all of us. Oh, that's also said about Martian Manhunter too. But we're not talking about him right now.
Martian Manhunter.
Yeah, but yeah, if you play up his humanity, you'll get a good movie out of it. It's just these guys just focus on the super part of it. It's about
it's a balance. In general, in comic, when you give these sorts of super abilities to people and characters and stuff, it's really about the things that sort of ground them and bring them to everybody else's level, and that's how people sort of can suture themselves in there. Look at we'll go to somebody like a Spider-Man, where it's like, how is he relatable? Well, everybody's had these sorts of double lives where it's like, you're trying to split yourself in all kinds of different directions, and sometimes everything just falls apart around you. People relate on that level, and I think that's what it is, balancing the amazing with the mundane.
Yeah, exactly. And also people relate to Spider-Man because, everybody has that one thing in their life, like, fuck, if I could go back and change that, I would, that works, But also Spider-Man isn't like a super dark character, which is also another thing I think people like too,
Mm-hmm.
All right. Any of you guys want to chime in on this?
Could you repeat your last question, Tony? Or your last sentence?
I don't know. Whatever. I don't know. Spider-Man something. I don't know what the fuck I just said.
Anyway. Oh, never mind.
Okay, whatever.
He's trying to set you up for a joke.
He probably is, but it already went over my head. I said Spider-Man responsibility there.
Yeah, I would just add in, another thing that makes Superman interesting that they don't cover is like he basically lives in a world where everything to him is like made of like delicate crystal, right? He's so strong that he has to restrict himself and then play like a bumbling buffoon at the same time, not to try to break everything and everyone around him, which
he's
makes
the bull at the china shop.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's crazier than that, because like that's not even a fair, because he's way more powerful than that. Like literally, like to think about like everything he types on a computer, like he could punch a hole through the earth. So like him typing or him drinking a glass of water or doing normal things, it's like
restraint. Yeah,
the amount of strain he has to use to be Clark Kent is
how can you be super delicate, especially like let's say if he's getting down and dirty, with Lois, like how do you hold back from getting too excited to just ripping her apart like?
Well, that's why, because in the New 52, there was, him and Wonder Woman were briefly together. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. That's a woman that could actually handle him, Yeah, you're right about that. So, yeah, like, Chris, that's a good point. It's like, they don't really show the super restraint he needs to employ,
Right,
So
that'd be good to show a fight between him and... See, like Zack Snyder had it almost there with Zod. Like, okay, he's beating up someone who can take it. Like, they're both Kryptonian. Zod, like, kind of fast tracked, him becoming super, but whatever. And they had their crazy Dragon Ball Z fight. That was
yeah, that
cool.
was awesome.
So, but the other stuff was wrong. Like, the whole tone of the movie was wrong. It was dark. Like, Superman's supposed to instill hope. Instead, he's moping and being a bitch. Like, come on, that's not Superman.
Yeah. By the way, just I agree with you what you said about Zod. He kind of just fast tracked, but to be fair, Zod had training. Like, here's the thing: if you depower Superman, he doesn't know how to fight.
Oh no! Yeah, Zod's a soldier, right?
Yeah.
That kind of made up for it. But I'm just saying he fast tracked the sun giving him.
Yeah, they did. Powers. It's like think about it. Superman got all those powers from like 30 years of being on Earth, right? Zod gets it in like 5 minutes, like on a cloudy day.
And he gets as powerful as a guy who's been absorbing this stuff for forever. It's still Superman still probably should have had a bit of a upper hand on Zod, but Zod's own fighting ability was something that could easily beat him. He could thwart his super powers.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, that actually happened in the comics where like Batman had to train Superman how to actually fight, because he doesn't know how to fight. He just throws punches.
Yeah, he throws a punch at something and it falls over.
Yeah. All right. Any other thoughts, or we could move on here? All right. Would you rather reserve? This is an interesting one. Let me read this nice and slow. Would you rather reserve one decision you make every day, or be able to stop time for 10 seconds every day? Or no, excuse me. Would you rather reverse one decision you make every day, or be able to stop time 10 seconds every day? So which one of those abilities would you rather have? Would you rather have the ability to reverse a decision you made, or to stop time for 10 seconds?
I think I'd have the ability to reverse a decision I made, not because I think I am going to make bad decisions, but then I could just freely do something at least once a day just to see what would happen without consequence.
Yeah, an undo sounds like way better. Like if you screw up, you're like, shit, I should have did this, and then so it's like, oh, and you go back and then do it the right way.
Yeah, and you have to think about like stopping for 10 seconds. Like what do those 10 seconds earn you in life? Like I wouldn't know. Like the only thing I would know to apply those is like if I was an athlete, like those 10 seconds would be like super crucial at a crucial point. But I don't know. In real life, is there rock, paper, scissors maybe?
Yeah, here's the thing. He said 10 seconds. He didn't say all at once. So maybe you could split 10 seconds into different pieces a day. But then again, why would you need to stop time for a second or two? You know, I'm gonna go with reverse time on this one.
Can anyone else?
I would say if it were to freeze time, I would like a little bit more time. So yeah, I would go with the reverse time too. And also, granted, there's also some horrible, nefarious things that you can do with that too.
Yes.
You know, like win the lottery.
but how?
You can't do that.
No,
what are you talking about? You can reverse
watch
time.
the news.
No, reverse
watch the
time.
News, hear the ticket the winning ticket, and then
reverse the decision you made. Reverse a decision you made. Not reverse time. Reverse a decision you made.
Nope, don't want that one.
No, I wouldn't say the reverse decision either.
So you want to stop time for 10 seconds?
That's just an
I'll take the stop time, because the reverse decision, I don't need to reverse any decisions.
Do you really need to stop time?
I live in
Damn right. Think about it. You walk into a bank. Once you see they open up the vault, you freeze. Go in there, grab himself, and walk out.
You're gonna do that in 10 seconds? In 10 seconds?
No,
Hey,
no.
man,
I need more than 10
No,
seconds.
it's 10 seconds.
That's not enough. I don't like this question. Next.
You know, but that is a good point. It's like something like, how many things do I regret per day? None, to be honest.
You need all those, yeah. No,
but then again, like Bretzy, there's trolling potential there. Just say something fucking crazy and see what happens. Oh, I don't like that. Reverse it.
Just the ability to punch one person a day who really pisses you off and then take it back.
That is good. That's a good one, actually.
Right?
Oh my god!
Saying something, you're like, blam, undo.
What?
But then knowing some of you, you'll probably tell the other, oh yeah, by the way, I have the time to have the ability to reverse abilities. It's like, wait, Brett, did you just punch me in the face?
And he'd be like, yes, I did it.
No.
No. And then you pull out your phone. Look what I recorded,
I've punched
motherfucker.
you every day for a week.
But that's when you're like,
I made a montage of it
today. I'm gonna undo telling you this.
Yes. Yeah, change it the next day.
I've been punching. It's like, Brett's like, I've been punching you for more than a month, a year now.
Yeah,
and I just wanted to tell you that because I'm going to reverse that decision too.
And reverse telling them exactly.
Also, like, let's say, oh, this is a good one. Let's say you're driving, and you just decided to leave late, and you get into a car accident. You can reverse your decision to leave late.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. Take a Uber, you know.
You can save it for a big thing, but then just at the end of the day, you're like, I mean, it's almost time to go to bed. Man, Sonic was the wrong choice for dinner. You know what? Boom. Done.
Oh, you can try everything.
Yeah.
Oh, no, once a day.
But then what if you get into a car
day.
accident after you did the rewind?
That's why you'd have to be careful.
Yeah, you got to be careful. Got to be careful.
Especially if there's some sort of weird thing in the world where it tries to replay every decision that's already been happening.
Yeah, so you don't want to spin on anything frivolous, you know. It's like, I should have spit on the right side of the sidewalk instead of the left.
But here's the thing: even with the ability to reverse any sort of decision, you can still fucking figure out things that happen in the future because you've already experienced them, right?
I guess it just
you have to give an example.
Well, okay, so if you can reverse any sort of decision, right?
Any decision you make one decision per day.
One decision per day. So okay, so now you can pretty much you can jank the system a little bit.
Well, what if you like you sort of what Brett said about eating dinner? Are you still full when you reverse?
Yeah, but like there's
So
that,
then
there's
you don't
that.
need to go
But
eat and you
it's
save
like
money.
again, it's like I was talking about the lottery shit. You could totally just do something else in the plan to reverse that other decision. Find out what the freaking lottery number is, and there is no time frame as to what you can reverse. You're reversing a decision, so it means that all the things that you did between you reversing that decision.
No, but you can't
gone.
reverse if you bought your lottery ticket on October 1st. You can't reverse a decision on October 30th. That window has passed. Understand?
No, but what if you did?
we've
But what if
established
you
a
did? What if you
24-hour
did it?
timeline.
What if you did it? What if you did it? A bunch of hours before.
I see what Manny's.
You know what I mean? Like
No, I think Manny's right.
Oh no, yeah, right. If you do it like if you see the winning lottery number, right? You could reverse the decision and then put the right number, I guess.
Yeah, you could
Well, we've
reverse buying
established-
that ticket because you already know what
and
happened.
You're either
wins.
What
yeah,
happened?
you're either able to see the future, or you're not able to recall the decision that you made.
Oh yeah, that's true. He didn't say that. Do you forget the thing you reversed?
Yeah, if you totally forget the thing that you did, but then that would stop Brett from having the satisfaction of punching you.
Yeah,
and,
I don't like that answer.
and not remembering.
Yeah, that's true.
That would make me want to do the 10 seconds.
Yeah. But I think, and not to split hairs here, but I think when we say, when he says once a day, that implies that said power has a 24-hour time frame. So I would imagine it's either, midnight to midnight, or you can reverse one decision in the last 24 hours. And that is enough time to win the lottery. And that just makes it even better. I think it would just be one of those like reverse one decision or one action that you made during the day. And even then, like, even without the lottery, like if you can reverse one decision, dude, I'm hitting hitting the gambling, the casinos every day and betting everything I own on black.
Oh shit.
And then when it doesn't pan out, I'm just going to nope, didn't do it until the day that it does pan out, and then I'm rich.
He's got a point there. You could game the system with these things, man. I'm telling you.
The 10 second thing wouldn't work so well. I mean, you could get somewhere a little faster.
You could steal something, but you would get caught on the way out. Is my only problem.
Yeah.
Wait, what? You would get caught on the way out of the
like let's say you tried to rob a bank, right? Like you could use your 10 seconds to freeze time to get the money.
Yeah.
Right. But then you'd still like have to get out, or you could blatantly steal it and then use your freeze time to get away. But then they'd know that you stole it. So you either get caught stealing it, or you don't get caught stealing it and they know you stole it. And that seems like everything with that kind of freeze 10 seconds thing.
You'd have to team up with the guy who can reverse one decision. Those two powers together would work real well. Be like reverse decision guy. Okay, no, don't. You got to go this way. Okay, perfect. 10 seconds.
Yeah. Exactly. What if you get a bunch of people that can do the 10 seconds, and then you can build up like an hour, and then you can go and rob a bank and then split the money.
What if you're able to freeze it for 10 minutes? Does that change things for anybody?
That changes everything. The world can end in 10 minutes.
Yeah, but that wasn't the question.
Yeah, it's only 10 seconds.
10 minutes, and then there goes that.
I think he specifically chose that time for a reason,
Yeah.
All right, good stuff. That was fun.
10 seconds is all the time I have
10
to play
seconds.
with you.
10 seconds until complete global saturation.
Global saturation.
All right, let's move on, man. Fergus Mills, man. All right, what game series would benefit from taking a hiatus and why? I think we've answered this before.
We've answered this one before.
Yeah. So Fergus, if you're still there, I'm not going to answer that one. So you have a chance to ask us one more question, my friend. All right, so let's move on to his next one, which is, if you could go a few rounds with a celebrity in a boxing ring, who would it be and why?
Oh.
What celebrity would I want to beat up?
In a boxing ring, like it's official. You got your gloves on and everything.
That's a good question.
I probably want to lay a couple into our idiot president.
Brett.
But I've always wanted to smack that dude in the face, even before he was a president.
He was a douche.
He was a dumbass even back then.
My question to Brett is there any other answer to this for you? Will Wheaton.
Yeah, no, that's pretty. Actually, when you frame it that way, it is a pretty hands down race. That dude's face is so punchable.
You'd be beating up a 40-year-old man, or is he 50 now? I don't know.
He's still older than Brett. Oh wait, no, Brett's old too. Never mind.
Yeah, I was like,
because I'm thinking like, I'm like, hey, listen, if it's a kid beating up Wesley, what does it matter? But Brett's not a kid. That doesn't work. Like it gets to a point where like beating up an adult is cool, but if then you're beating up an old man, that's not cool.
So you want to beat young? You want to beat up young Wesley, and then
Nah, you could beat him up now.
Yeah, I'm not really particular.
I don't know how to answer this question when I get into trouble. I think I may not answer this because I have a bunch of answers, but like I shouldn't say that.
I mean, yeah.
Is it somebody who shouldn't be named, Tony?
I'm gonna say it's a comedian that we named earlier. That's all I'm gonna say. The one that you said nobody likes, Brett.
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm horrible.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. I mean, there's not a lot of people because
No, I'm kidding. I don't want to go. I don't want to hit Amy Schumer. Who's hold on. I'm thinking about studio executives now. Those guys piss me off. But which one? There's so many.
Harvey Weinstein might need.
Harvey Weinstein's a good one.
I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't even really know about Weinstein until the whole thing went down. I just knew of him.
You always hear at the awards, there were always someone thanking
goofing on
him
that dude.
at the awards.
Yeah.
Like, oh, thanks, Harvey. Thank Harvey.
He's a scumbag. That's all you need.
No, he's a
He's
scumbag.
kind of
yeah.
always been a scumbag. That guy.
Yeah, I'd rather not use boxing gloves with that guy, if you know what I mean. Actually, that's exactly what it means. So I'm just punch him in the face. Yeah, take it to the streets.
You better go do a street fight.
By the way, I have an interesting answer, and here's why. I do not wish harm on this person. I do not hate this person. I just want to see how Jeff Keighley fights.
Oh shit!
Wow. Okay.
That's a good angle. Here's the thing: people are confusing this. They're saying, "Oh, I want to beat this person." I'm like, no, they're gonna fight you back too.
Yeah. This is
you may lose.
Yeah. I don't want to harm Jeff Keighley. I just want to see how he fights.
Yeah, right.
That's just something that's.
He could have a hidden rage, man.
Yeah,
He comes off all kind of a lightweight on there. You literally find out he's some sort of fucking capoeira master. Whip your ass.
Yeah. By the way, now that I'm answering this question correctly, no, I don't want to fight Amy Schumer because I think she would kick the fucking shit out of me. She looks big, son. Okay, no. Anyway, go ahead, Brett.
I was just saying, I don't think anybody's advising beating a toddler. We're actually taking this as a boxing match.
Yeah, it's like an actual, it's a fair fight. You may get fucked up.
Yeah.
Actually, no, wait. It's a fair boxing match. If you get too fucked up, the referee will break it up. So no one's getting beaten up like that. This is a fair boxing match.
Didn't they do that? Remember celebrity boxing? Remember when that was the thing?
Celebrity death match?
No, it was a
celebrity death match.
But it was actually celebrities boxing.
You remember Yui Bowl? He did it. He
but he
a bunch of people's asses.
The guy who was part of the
Marchik
family. He kept winning.
All right. That's it. I'm gonna, because I'm having a hard time with this one, but I like where Black Metal's going with this. What two celebrities do you want to see fight each other? He just brought up a good one. He wants to see Hideo Kojima versus Hideki Kamiya.
Kamiya.
Oh man.
Well, Hideki Kamiya is a younger guy.
Yeah, he probably beat up Kojima.
He probably beat Kojima up, but who knows? Maybe Kojima's got some hidden rage.
Yeah, right.
I got a great answer that might break the rules.
Okay, go ahead.
Can I see all the Fortnite streamers put into an actual battle royale?
Oh, I like that question.
That's a good one.
I like that one.
But battle royale from the movie.
Yeah, no,
the
exactly.
actual battle
one
royale.
One of them just has a chancleta in his hand and he's fight everybody.
Hey, by the way, Technofab is right. Camille would just block everything Hideo throws at him. Oh, that's a good one. Just block it all, man. Block it all. That's what he does. I
want to see
David Jaffe go against Cliffy B.
David Jaffe versus Cliffy B. Yeah, that'll be an interesting one.
The two has-been guys.
They
are has-beens. Let's just be honest.
I want to see.
Yeah,
I want to see Patrice Desilets versus Hideo Kojima. There you go.
that'd be interesting.
The
What
creator
about
of Assassin's Creed?
Peter Molyneux versus Mark Cerny?
You know what would be even better one? Peter Molyneux versus the No Man's Sky guy.
Yes, that's exactly what I
They
was
call
thinking.
They call it the
Sean
Battle of
Murray?
Yeah, that would be a Sean Murray versus Peter Molyneux.
Sean Murray versus Peter Molyneux. Granted, I'm sure Sean Murray would probably win because he's a younger guy.
Well, you mentioned I like the way you're going with this because leading up to the fight, this would be perfect. They'd be talking about who's going to win, and
Oh yeah, it would sound like the most amazing fight ever created.
yes.
I will show Sean Murray a new meaning of pain.
Oh shit!
Like, will you take a Peter Molyneux down in the first round? Yes. Will he cry? Yes. He will say yes to everything.
No, he'll just say yes to all the different questions.
Exactly. Oh man, it's a fun question. But yeah, I don't know. I personally don't want to go toe to toe with anybody. It's like, I'd rather see other people fight. You know, that's what I wanted to see. You know, you fight for me.
Miyamoto versus the Legend of Zelda guy. Now, whatever his name is.
Oh, Aonuma.
This is an interesting one.
there you go.
PewDiePie.
They probably need to hash things out too.
Yeah. Let me read some of these. These responses are funny. Chris, you'll like this one. PewDiePie versus Etika.
Oh, really?
Oh man.
Damn.
I'll give it to Etika on that one.
Yeah.
Reggie Fils-Aimé versus Phil Spencer. Oh shit.
Those two are pretty big dudes.
Yeah. Man.
I mean, that would probably be like a sumo battle.
Oh man.
Phil Spencer looks like he fucking lifts weights and shit, but fucking Reggie is just big in general.
Yo, Phil Spencer looks like he lifts Xboxes.
the
original.
And he'll do it with that smug smile too. He'll be fighting going.
Here's an old school one. Barry Burton says, Trip Hawkins versus Howard Lincoln.
Oh god, Trip Hawkins versus
a bunch of old men fighting each other.
Yeah, right.
Oh man. All right. Yeah, celebrity death match. That'd be funny.
They're bringing that back.
Yeah, they are. Oh man, let's see how that works nowadays.
TV now, right?
I don't know, but MTV announced they're rebooting that one.
Are they going to censor the hell out of it for modern times?
Who knows? Who knows? Maybe that'll be behind a new pay subscription service that they're going to start. Who knows?
Oh jeez.
They're all doing it now.
Other channel has.
They all do it now.
Tekashi 69 versus Miley Cyrus.
I don't know who the fuck is.
You know, is that a robot or something? I don't know.
Tekashi 69 is a rapper.
Okay.
He's like in the news. He has like rainbow colored hair, and he's like in the news for like putting a hit on someone or something like that.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say he's one of these rappers that even their own record labels never heard of. You know.
No, he's huge.
Really?
Yeah, he's huge.
Yo, man, Tekashi 69 will whip your ass.
He probably would whip my ass, man. Is he Asian?
No, he's Mexican and Puerto Rican.
What?
Yeah.
All right. This is one of those Principal Skinner moments. Am I out of touch? No. It's the kids that are wrong. The children are wrong.
Yeah, he's in prison right now.
Yeah, he's in prison. Okay, good for him.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you put a hit out on somebody.
Yeah. Tekashi 69? What? I don't know. I don't understand you kids.
More like washed up.
Yeah, right. All right, and the last question here, people. What is the angriest moment you've ever experienced when gaming?
When I played Mass Effect Andromeda, I guess.
Oh,
maybe.
Damn. Moment of gaming. I can't say that I really had anything that was.
I know the angriest moment.
Oh yeah, what's that?
When you were playing against Evil Chris and he was talking all that shit. You know, when you were playing Darkstalkers and you literally left my fucking apartment. You were pissed.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah, it's you know what? I'm thinking of it in a single player.
No, aspect. Man, you got to think about it all.
In my Zen world, no, that dude was cheating.
Yeah, no, it's funny because Manny, he was like, yeah, like I love Darkstalkers. I'm really good at this game. And Chris like, okay, let's play. So Chris is beating Manny up, and he's like, what's wrong? I thought you were good. I thought you were good. I thought you were good. And Manny got pissed and leaves.
That dude knew how to just push people.
He really did, man. So Manny, I answer for you. I know that for a fact. That's the
I will go with that one.
Oh man, I must have told that story one time where like evil Chris got me so mad like I wanted to punch him, but I'm like, okay, I can't punch my friend, so I just punched and broke my fucking fan instead.
I think at least everybody in our old friend group kind of has a really like a freaking pissed off at Chris, the evil Chris moment.
Well, him and Mike actually did go fist to fist. They actually did go at it. Oh man! I mean, the funny thing is, Chris always had like a runny nose, bleeding nose. So he just popped him once, and that's why I didn't punch him. Like I don't want blood all over my fucking bed, because he was sitting out there. I'm like, and he just shattered that fan into pieces.
I think I was there for that. I know you went.
Yeah, I screamed. I was pissed. I broke my fan, and that got me even more mad. He's like, "What's wrong, Tony?" Like, you motherfucker!
I'll choke the life out of you.
I should have done that. Let me choke you. All right, angriest gaming moment, and it doesn't have to be in the actual game. It could be while you were playing a game. Oh man, nothing. Everybody just had passive experiences here.
Well, okay, in recent memory. Like,
anytime. Anytime.
Dude,
right, but go
fucking
ahead.
Red Dead the other night on the goddamn stream. I have not rage quit a game in years.
No Fallout, really? No Fallout rage?
I can still play it. Like I haven't gotten to the point where the game is constantly kicking me in the dick. Like Tony, I think heard the barely restrained rage in my voice, and I was like, I need to just go. I need to be off this game now.
And that was on stream, people. That was on stream, man.
Why are you playing online if you don't like it? Just play the campaign. That's what I'm doing. Just playing the story.
Because I was really looking forward to the online, man.
Give it some time.
One of the reasons why he bought the damn game. You remember he was annoyed
did you get the 15 gold bars? Did you spend it already? Like I don't.
No, but like I can't get the game to like be stable long enough for me to really do anything. Like I'm not exaggerating. Tony was there. It's on the stream. Like I could not. Yeah. I couldn't get any missions to launch. I didn't have icons showing up. I kept crashing. Like I didn't have enough stability to like ride from wherever it spawned me into town to like look at new guns half the time. Like it was just kicking me in the dick, man. It was one of the few times in the last handful of years that I can think about that I just had to be like, look, I need to put this game down. I just need to stop playing.
So Brett, was that maximum anger? Was it like you get so angry that you come back to being almost calm?
Yes, yeah. When you're just like, I need to go away now.
Yeah, the calm rage. Yeah, I know that one.
I've gotten angry at Dark Souls, and I've yelled at games before. And then there's when you're just like so quiet, voice trembling. Like I can't process how angry I am.
And there's that like if it was one more little thing, a pin drop of something else that would aggravate you, you just explode after.
Yeah, exactly. And then you're like, okay. This is the point, like, warning, your controllers are in danger. Warning.
Yeah, he's just nitroglycerin at that point. You just jar him a little, and that's it, Damn. All right, Chris, any angry gaming moments?
I mean, I've had a few. I've had a few, like, controller spiking, like, rage fest.
I remember you talking about one you just twisting your controller in half.
Oh, that was probably a Street Fighter moment. Like I almost twisted a DualShock 3 in half. Like I literally snapped it, and I was so pissed. Like, and I was like, oh, when it cracked, I was like, oh, I gotta calm down. But yeah, I mean, I must have been getting my ass handed to me online multiple times. I was just getting super salty. And I've had moments like that in like first person shooters also. But not like breaking something, but like just so like fucking screaming at the computer or something, like just yelling at the screen. I haven't walked away from any the time I almost got in a fight. I actually won the match, and the guy I was playing Mortal Kombat in a place on Union Turnpike, and the guy got so pissed at me he like charged me.
Oh
Fucking beat 'em.
shit!
Yeah. Like our boys had to pull each other, like pull us apart. You know, you got really fucking pissed. But that wasn't. I wasn't mad. He was mad.
Yeah, that's still an angry moment. I'm gonna count that.
Yeah. Mortal Kombat, dudes.
Mortal Kombat.
Arcade. There's nothing like I miss arcades, man. That's there'd be no shit talking. Just go up there, whatever. But if somebody's salty with you, you're gonna get in a real fight.
Yeah, you got to be prepared. It's not like on the internet
ready.
where you can say whatever fuck you want, nothing's gonna happen to you. Arcade, you talk shit, something may happen.
Somebody may slap you in the back of the head.
Yeah,
And that's the crazy part. There's some people that are calm and they'll play and it's like, oh, you want to play next? All right. And then there's others that will talk shit the whole time. So you just got to keep your cool.
What you got?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, yo, you want to keep feeding money? You want to put a quarter for quarter? I'm like, what do you mean quarter for? If I beat you, you give me another quarter. It's like, oh shit.
You want to ring the bell?
That's it.
Yep.
Ding.
Those people are always really satisfying when you beat them too, because you don't have to say much. You're like, oh, I'm sorry. What were you saying a minute ago? We put another machine quarter.
I was telling you to look down. Look down what? I got to switch back. Oh, God.
All right, Adam. What about you, man?
Almost every game I ever play, I'm always fucking rage quitting. You see me in the text, I rage quit on everything I play, whether it's FIFA or the Red Dead, because it's some shit where for a checkpoint or something stupid. It's always some game that I'm quitting. That's it. It's just the way it is, though. It's gaming.
That's something, man.
It's always something.
I have an answer for me and Carlos simultaneously. Playing motherfucking Fortnite. Oh,
man.
That documented too. You could hear the rage in there. I didn't understand the game. I felt it was stupid, and I didn't like the fact that I had to play it. And I also didn't like the fact that you guys liked that stream. That's why I never did it again. I'm like, fuck that shit.
No, see, that's how it works. They want to see you suffer.
Yeah, that was fucking terrible. Fortnite.
How do you think those streamers get it? They're fucking suffering at those games, even if they're fake suffering. People want to laugh at your failures.
Yeah, exactly. Or in my case, laugh at me being angry at the game. Because it was stupid.
Hey man,
that's why Ninja got
funny.
so popular.
Yo,
Yeah.
and then
from the outside.
the worst part was there was this one point where we were like close to winning, and this one dude like literally just opened a door and sprayed everything, and we just died and didn't have even time to do anything.
Yeah, that was some bullshit. Yeah, because we came in like third place or something, which is pretty good considering that we were only 2 steps away from being in first place. But
the funnest part of the whole experience was me and Tony making up a game within the game. Remember, we dropped off from the ship and we used to like predict how many people would be alive when we landed.
Yeah, that was funny. Yeah, because
you stay in the sky as long as possible.
Yep. And then we try to find like one building or something like close to the middle and get inside of it, because we didn't build our own shit. We just found whatever was there, so we got inside of the building and stuff. But yeah, we would count like how many people are still alive and shit. Yeah, so we had to make our own fun because the actual game was so horrible and boring.
Too bad you didn't play the real version of Fortnite. The one.
Nobody cares about that no more. All right, cool, man.
You have to pay for that one.
Yeah.
And that was the thing. Remember, what was it? I think it was a Microsoft bundle. Remember a Microsoft bundle that had was it Fortnite? It was a Fortnite PUBG. It was a pub. No, it was one of them that did a bundle for Fortnite. People like that.
Must have been PlayStation.
Because it was like it's a free game. No, but it was coming with the pay one. That was the thing. The free is free, but the pay one you have to pay. And that one was also there.
Do you remember what was only the paid one, and I was excited about a new and upcoming game called Fortnite?
Yes, I do remember that. Tony remembers. Oh man. All right. Yeah. And then the and any other angry gaming things you guys want to toss in? I'm having a hard time thinking about it. I've gotten very mad, but not like rage-inducingly
It happens
mad.
more if you play online. If you play like competitive multiplayer and stuff, then you'll have a lot more to say.
I think that's what it is. You're right. Yeah, because I don't know.
There's a lot of streams with Tony just going, "Come on, man, this is bullshit."
Yeah, but I don't really consider that really angry. It's just me being frustrated. I'm talking about like
I'm gonna die.
Yeah. But those always counter with me being happy. Yeah, motherfucker. So it's a balance. But yeah, even though yeah. Now, yeah, here's the thing, because one thing I notice about myself, like people think I'm like, oh, you're being angry. I'm like, no, I'm not. This is me base level right now. So that even though I sound very angry, that's just me being just frustrated. Normal gaming stuff that happens.
Be able to handle full Tony anger.
I'll come over to your house and punch your fan into pieces.
Throw some force lightning at you.
All right, and the last question here from Mr. Barry Burton, of all people. Right, he goes, I'll throw down the last bonus question of the year. What is your favorite part of Gremlins 2, the new batch? Keep in mind that saying you have not seen the movie is not a valid response and will destroy the space-time continuum. Throw down 2 for show.
Now, which version of the film are we talking about? Because there's 2 versions of the film. There's the theatrical version, and then there's the home video version. Specifically in the middle of the film, there's a specific sequence that's different.
Yeah, like if you saw it in the movie theaters, like basically the Gremlins would fuck with the projection and stuff.
And it had Hulk Hogan in it.
And Hulk Hogan was in it. And I think they actually came into the actual aisles and stuff too, and just messing with shit. But if you had it on VHS, they would mess with your tape, So it was kind of interesting. I think that's probably my favorite part, just the fact that they had those 2 very weird things. But there was all cool stuff, like they had the spider gremlin, which I thought was really creepy.
Spider
gremlin, dude.
Christopher Lee's in it.
Christopher Lee was in it. That's right.
What's like the whole thing about Gremlins 2 is sort of the contrast in shift of tone that it had from the first one, because the first one was a proper horror movie. Yeah. And this one was like a comedy.
I mean, the first one was still fairly kind of silly. What, like especially granted they're killing a bunch of people, but they all kind of die in goofy ways. Like they killed that lady on the stair climber, they rocketed her out.
Launched her.
I got a good analogy. I got a good analogy for this. Gremlins 1 is Drax in Guardians 1. Gremlins 2 is Drax in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Does that make sense?
I kind of see like the difference.
What's the difference between them? They're both stupidly goofy.
No, but
okay. No, I was keep going with your.
No, I need to understand this Drax analogy, because Drax in both those movies was the same.
Drax in the first one was a guy that had like sort of a backstory, a serious backstory with just comedic ways to sort of what's it called, to mediate all of that. But the second one, it was just a full-on just like a joke here. Like everything he did was a joke. Like
okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, like even though Gremlins 1 was still goofy, there was still a little bit of seriousness to it. There was no seriousness whatsoever in 2. It was just goofiness from beginning to end.
It's like the difference between Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
where that first one was pretty, it was silly at points, but it was played pretty straight. 2 was just all slapstick.
Yeah, no, you're right about that. But yeah, the spider one is the thing that sticks in my mind the most. I think it was so creepy, man. But yeah, I need to. I was funny. I was talking to a friend about that movie just the other day. I need to rewatch that. I used to watch the fuck out of that back in the day, man.
I think it's a proper Christmas movie. Both of them are.
That is true.
The second one's not a Christmas film.
Yeah, the first one is though.
Yeah, but you watch the second one after the first one, Manny.
No, you don't.
Come on.
You know what I watched?
That's the way it's done in the Murdoch house, sir.
As far as I'm concerned, the old man walking up the street with Gizmo back to Chinatown. That's the end of the Gremlin series.
Go ahead, Adam.
Today we watched the Chevy Chase Christmas Vacation.
Ooh, that's a good one.
No, it doesn't hold up, man.
Really? I used to
really
watch
cheesy,
that shit.
raunchy shit, and a lot of cursing. And I'm like, damn, I thought this was a family film.
Oh, you didn't like it because there was cursing in it?
No, it's not that. It's just like it didn't fit. The cursing and the raunchiness of him looking at the girl's boobs and stuff. I'm like, it doesn't fit. If you're all about your family, why are you saying that you're not married now and doing all this shit? It just, after watching it again, it's like, oh, this doesn't make sense. A lot of this.
Well, I mean, that movie was a PG-13 movie. A PG movie, which probably went into the PG-13 era of things. Because back then, they didn't have the 13.
Yeah, I put it on. I'm like, oh, this is going to be great. This is one of those great classics. I'm like, no, this is it.
Watch the Never-Ending Story again.
Oh shit!
See how much that thing holds up.
Turn around.
You know what holds up? Legend. Oh,
Well, the Never-Ending Story kind of does hold up for me. I rewatched it like maybe a few years ago.
Yes, it is equally traumatic as it was when you were a child.
No, it was never really traumatic to me. I just thought
with the other one with the puppets. Remember where they were draining lives? What was that? Dark Crystal. That shit was freaky.
I never watched
The only thing that annoyed me about the Never-Ending Story was it ended. As a kid, I'm like, oh shit, this movie's not gonna end, and it ended. I'm like, wait, they said the Never-Ending Story. You know,
Atreus.
Atreus.
They didn't have enough money for the sequel, so it ended.
Yeah.
His name is Atreyu.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Atreyu.
Boy. All right, man, that's going to do it for us. So we want to thank all you guys for another really great year of Throwdown, man. Another 100 episodes. Actually, more than that with E3, you know. Things are, different now. We're like streaming, exclusively to Twitch and stuff. YouTube is kind of shit right now, let's just be honest. But we maintained the same level of quality that we always have. And I consider it a very good year. I had a lot of fun. We had a lot of good stories to cover and all that. Mm-hmm. A lot of good streams going on. We're adding some of that in there. Good stuff all around, man. So obviously I want to thank you guys for the continued support. And we hope that you'll continue to check us out next year and in the years in the future, man. That's all I got to say about that. Just thank all the fans. What about the rest of you guys? What do you want to say to the people?
Oh yeah, definitely. Thanks for joining us, continuing to join us, or just if you're just joining us on this journey of Throwdown. We started this. What is this? We started the show in 2012.
Yeah,
1986.
Before podcasts even existed, man.
Before the
and internet.
It was just a fun journey, just to kind of talk to all of our friends and stuff.
Started in Manny's living room.
It started with phone calls, I would say. But yeah, it's great to have you guys along with the ride with us, and I hope you continue to stay with us and listen to our insanity and listen to our stories, and we get to listen to your stories. We promise to hopefully we'll have some more interesting things as far as Twitch goes in the future. We're looking into giving away prizes and stuff for the different tiers, and doing some fun new icons. Even trying to revamp a couple of things on the show. Just to keep the level even higher.
Yeah, man. Anybody else want to jump in? Actually, I'm going to go one by one. Fuck that, Chris. Get in here. What do you say?
Well, I mean, I'm always appreciative of everyone's support and all the participation. Like, look, we wouldn't have a question show if it wasn't for the fans and the listeners and everyone. So I appreciate all that, and I look forward to seeing what happens with gaming next year, because with all the stuff we talked about in the last show, it's I talked about loot boxes and how it kind of ruined the industry, and stuff, government coming down on it and stuff. So I'm very curious to see what 2019 brings. I'm more curious to see how Anthem does.
Ooh, we'll see about that one. All right, Carlos, man. What are your final shout outs?
Well, yeah, like everyone mentioned, appreciate everyone sort of, especially the transition at Twitch, because also that was just a huge thing for us, because we had a lot of issues with YouTube, and I mean we still put our shows there, but we appreciate everyone who's sort of moved on with us on Twitch to sort of build this up, and yeah, man, I just appreciate sort of the chat with everyone in here and everyone, all the fans and stuff. So let's hope we pick it up even more in 2019. It's probably for me, I think it's going to be a better year than 2018 for gaming. So here's to another successful year for everyone.
Cool. Brett.
Mostly, I'd just like to thank everybody for sticking with us, especially for some of the longtime viewers. Or longtime listeners. It's been a long, crazy, weird ride, but I've enjoyed the shit out of myself, and I hope you guys all have too. And look forward to a better 2019 than we had 2018. Fingers crossed.
I like that. All right, and Mr. Adam.
Yeah, thanks for everybody listening. Everybody appreciate what you have in life during this holiday season. Don't. We talked about it earlier about people one-upping each other. There's no point because we all live and die like the next man, so it doesn't fucking matter. So enjoy what you have, enjoy your family and your goodies, and keep playing games. That's it. Be happy. Life is short.
Yeah. By the way, I saw a meme like that. Basically, it was like a tough biker dude on like a little girl tricycle, right? And it said, "Live your life to the fullest because you're not gonna make it to the end of it." It's like, yeah, that's true. You're not gonna make it out alive, you know. So have
Exactly.
fun, you know.
There is an end.
Yeah, that's it, man. Oh, hold on. Thank you. Was that Barry, man? Thank you, man. Subscribed again for tier 2. Awesome. Appreciate that. All right, a couple things here. Okay, so we're gonna take 2 weeks off, right? For the rest of December, for the Throwdown shows. We're still gonna do some game streams. We'll figure out when we're gonna do that. But we're gonna take 2 weeks off from the podcast. Then we're gonna come back in January. So we're gonna have Throwdown. It'll be on January 3rd, 10:30 p.m. Eastern. And Throwing Your Questions on January 6th at 10:30 p.m. Eastern. That'll be episode 215 of each of those, right? So just be on the lookout for that. And then for Throw Down Your Questions 215 specifically, wait until after we do Throwdown 215, then ask us questions. Because if you ask us questions now, they're not going to answer for 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? There's probably not much going to be happening anyway. So just wait 2 weeks for 215, and we'll answer all that stuff. But once again, thank you guys for all the stuff. Whether you're checking us out on Twitch, YouTube, wherever you find us, SoundCloud. Obviously, those guys have been holding it down for a long time too. Thank you guys for everything. And yeah, I'm gonna agree with everybody in here, man. I think 2019 is gonna be an even better year for gaming and for us. So I'm looking forward to seeing where it takes us, and hopefully you guys will join us, man. I know the hardcore guys will, so that's gonna be awesome. But the new guys, I'm looking forward to seeing some new faces too, man. I just want to see it all, man. And also, again, shout out to us because again, Throw Down Your Questions. I don't see any other gaming podcast that specifically cater to answering questions, so that's pretty fucking cool, man. So yeah, man, 2018, we'll smell you later. So thank you for watching and listening. Leave us a questions, comment section of this episode on YouTube or over on the Coalition. We'll answer them 2 weeks from now in episode 215. So again, remember, just wait until we air 215 of Throwdown that Thursday, January 3rd, and then you can start asking us questions. Right? Subscribe to Throwdown on SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube. Follow us on Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook at Throwdown Show. Links are located in the description below. Once again, I was your host, Tony Polanco. Tonight I was joined by Emilio Lopez.
So say we all. See you
So say we
2019.
So say we all. Chris Seeley.
In 2019, the fire rises.
we hope the fire doesn't rise.
We don't need no more fires. Put them fires out. Put them fires out. Oh, man. Carlos Romero.
Later, people.
Brett Murdoch.
Y'all be good to each other.
And Adam Vale.
Have a good week, people. Great
All right,
holiday,
guys.
New Year.
Yeah.
By the way,
Hold on.
One more thing.
Tony, hold on. Wait, Tony. Okay.
I forgot to mention. Happy birthday, Adam.
Oh,
All right, guys. Throwdown will be back next year, man. Throwdown will return later.
Deuces.
Nanos and Throwdown will return 2019.
You know.
oh,